we talk about? If you're constantly reaching for the readers, the corneal inlay procedure was designed with you in mind. So check it out. 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020. Schedule a free screening for the corneal inlay procedure. Find out if you're a candidate. Evening and weekend appointments are available. So call now. Talk to Clyman Evangelista. The team members there for an appointment time that's convenient for you. 1-800-714-2020. Reach for the phone and maybe stop reaching for the readers. 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020, or myinlay.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. People always ask me why we don't advertise on price. The answer? We advertise on quality. Imagine if Honda Accords were assembled by local car dealers instead of the factory. Well, then you'd pay a lot more attention to the quality of the dealer. Folks, replacing an air conditioner is the same thing. We're assembling that product in your attic, and the most important day of your system's life is the day it's installed. Our installation teams undergo hundreds of hours of hands-on factory and field training, and all of our installs are supervised by senior quality installation experts. Right now with Carrier's Cool Cash, you can save up to $3,500 per system. So call two other companies and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
If you're tired of the free product pushing marketing seminars only to be passed off to an inexperienced advisor once they have your money, call Empowered Wealth Financial Services. You deserve a personalized and confidential relationship with a team of financial experts that can coordinate all of the areas of a comprehensive financial plan: investment planning, tax planning, insurance planning, and estate planning.
Hi, I'm Rick Poston, two-time best-selling author and nationally recognized financial expert featured on Fox Business Channel, CNN, and CNBC. I've been published in Forbes magazine. I direct a team of experts, including a chartered financial consultant, a chartered life underwriter, a chartered advisor for senior living, 2 CPAs, and a board-certified estate planning attorney. If you're tired of the pushy seminars, experience the financial experts you and your money deserve at Empowered Wealth. Call 469-361-4020 to discuss your financial goals or go to empoweredwealthfinancialservices.com.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I want to share with you one of the smartest things I ever did: a whole house full of windows from Statewide Remodeling. The benefits were instant. The house looked great. The resale value went way up. And the most important thing, I was saving money immediately on energy bills in the heat of the summer and the cold of the winter. Let me send you to StatewideRemodeling.com. In fact, StatewideRemodeling.com, or visit the showrooms in Irving or Collin Creek Mall in Plano. See the windows that I'm talking about. It's fantastic people doing great work and 50% off window installations and 100% financing with approved credit. The time is now to get your home energy efficient. Those builder's grade windows, you are leaking air conditioning out into the hot out of doors. Stop doing that. Get energy efficiency and beauty from windows with Statewide Remodeling. They've done so many things for me. I love them, and you will too. StatewideRemodeling.com. Check them out. Give them a call, 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095. You will love your new windows from StatewideRemodeling.com.
Your local pharmacist is also a Health Mart pharmacist, and they're not like other pharmacists.
After Mom's surgery, I was overwhelmed, but I was so relieved. Her Health Mart pharmacist was there to help. They explained her medication and even delivered to her house. Mom got the personal service she needed, and I got something even better: peace of mind.
Visit healthmart.com to find a locally owned Health Mart pharmacy near you. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
We gave Tom 12 seconds to give 6 reasons why he opened a Mathnasium Learning Center franchise.
Okay. Great income potential. Doing good for kids. Doing what I love. Making math make sense to kids. 500 centers open already. 1 every 3 days. Mathnasium taught me the business. Helps me. Supports me.
Time's up. Pretty good. For franchise information, visit mathnasium.com or take the first step right now. Call 855-361-MATH. That's 855-361-6284.
660 AM, The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
What do you want to see tomorrow night in the second Republican presidential campaign debate? Hi, I'm Jon-David Wells. Welcome to the Wells Report. This is a special, very special preview portion of the broadcast tonight as we look at what you want to see happen tomorrow night when the Republican candidates take the stage at the Reagan Library in Simi Valley, California. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. Who do you want to see succeed? Who would you like to see go down in flames, and why? 866-660-5759. So many things are going on now as we come to this this conversation. So many things are going on as a lot of people are getting ready to do what they think they have to do to move their campaigns forward. A lot of people still in the game. The first out, unfortunately, Governor Rick Perry of the great state of Texas. He was the candidate, at least the governor's candidate, that I thought had the best story, but could not put enough money together to be able to wait out the guy who is quite literally taking all the oxygen in the room. That is, of course, Donald Trump. Now, the thing about Donald Trump, you know, there are a lot of professional politicians that are sitting here shaking their head wondering what happened. Well, what happened is that we, the people of the United States, got incredibly tired of the same old Washington garbage. And it was Democrat and Republican garbage. And it wasn't anything that we were interested in seeing again. And a guy showed up who was anything but that, Donald Trump. One of the things that people are going to be watching for is whether or not there are going to be any cracks in Donald Trump's story. You can read this, by the way. There's a really good preview in USA Today. Not just that, but also the Star-Telegram put together a great one today. Will any candidate find any flaw in the Trump juggernaut? GOP strategist Katie Packer Gage rattled off possible lines of attack. Let's see. Trump is a bad businessman. I don't think that people are gonna cotton to that very much. People will say he isn't a real conservative. I think the Republican mistake that they're going to make with Donald Trump is thinking that Donald Trump, the businessman, is Donald Trump, the candidate. They have not been able to figure that out yet. They're on the right track by saying, okay, who is Donald Trump and what does he represent? Because all we can see is a guy who very much reminds a lot of people about President Obama. President Obama showed up, very charismatic, very amazing, speaking in glowing terms about the United States and what the future was going to be like, but not real strong on a lot of detail. Now, make no mistake, none of us are going to make that mistake again. And certainly because we're discussing Republicans, this is the only time when the mainstream media ever does its job. See, I don't have any problem with tough journalists asking tough questions of politicians. I think there are times when I think it's ridiculous. You know, I'm not interested so much on whether or not somebody can pass a civics test as much as I'm interested in whether or not they've got real good policy ideas. For me, this is about policy. This isn't about whether you know the president of Slobodanovich-Skiville. I don't care. I want to know that's what the State Department's for. I want to know what these people want to do from a standpoint of policy. And so I'm watching Donald Trump very, very carefully. Now, all that being said, there is one thing that has to be said. Donald Trump has done more to help American politics in the very short run that he's made so far than any other presidential candidate I can possibly imagine. Maybe even more than Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a stalwart conservative from the word go. He could look back on an amazing conservative past. Donald Trump can't do that. Donald Trump is a guy that looks back on a series of business deals. Most of them went beautifully. A few of them went wrong. He's going to hear about those. But the Republicans will make a mistake if they continue to attack Trump on the businessman as opposed to the policymaker. There are enough weaknesses in the policymaker for them to be able to make up for any shortages they might have. But if they misjudge who they're dealing with, they're going to get hurt. Jeb Bush just continues to say, well, he's not a true conservative. We, the people of the United States, understand that there are two guys there. This is one of the very first times I've been able to see the American people just embarrassingly out front of a major political party. The people running the Republican Party are disasters. These people are just exactly what Donald Trump keeps talking about. They're incompetents. They truly are. And they're really missing it. So I want to know what you want to see tomorrow. Who do you want to see succeed? Who do you want to see go down in flames? 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. The people who are writing their previews for tomorrow night's debate, USA Today says, you got to beware of the 11th podium. The addition of Carly Fiorina, the only woman in the GOP race, to the main stage could slow down any candidate on the testosterone express. This, according to conservative analysts. Having the Donald confront female recipients of his recent insults on national television could be the most intriguing subplot of the second debate, said Ford O'Connell. That's a Virginia-based, he's a Virginia-based GOP strategist. You know, if I was Carly Fiorina, I wouldn't say a word. You don't need to say a thing. You don't. She's got a perfectly fine face. Nothing wrong with Carly Fiorina's face. All she needs to do is just stand there and use it to express the very important things that this country needs to hear from the only female in the race. I'm serious. Having the Donald confront this female recipient of his recent insults might be something that is thrown out there. I think what CNN is going to try to do is turn it into a food fight. And if that is indeed the case, then Rand Paul promises to be very well prepared for that particular eventuality. In a Tuesday afternoon interview with the Daily Caller, Rand Paul said that Donald Trump deserves both barrels. I want to make sure everyone in the whole country knows he's a fake conservative. Careful, Rand. Careful. This looks like a trap to me. I think what you'd be better to do is just ask him about conservative things instead of trying to blast him with first one thing and then another in a life that really doesn't matter much. What politicians can't figure out is that while they have a history that can be drawn on, Donald Trump doesn't. He doesn't. He represents the other side of the coin. He represents the lobbyist. He represents the funding person. He represents the deep-pocketed billionaire that becomes the kingmaker. And that's what Donald Trump has been doing up until this point, where now he's self-funding his own campaign. He is his own kingmaker. And yeah, Rand Paul says, he's not one of us. He's not a true conservative. Uh-huh. You be careful, Rand. You might find yourself on the outside looking in very, very quickly. Moving forward with the USA Today coverage of this, the exclamation point. Yeah, Jeb. The exclamation point, of course, Jeb Bush, his logo is JEB and then an exclamation point. Previews of the first debate anticipated a Trump versus Bush rivalry. This time, there's more chatter about the possibility of Trump Fiorina fireworks or about whether Ben Carson, number 2 in the polls, is going to sidestep the conflict, rise above it all, be very, very sensible, be very straightforward in his way that was devastating in the first debate. This is not a do-or-die debate for the former Florida governor, but he could definitely benefit from controlling a news cycle, said Jeff Steen. He is an Iowa nonpartisan political analyst who is in his 10th cycle following the Iowa caucuses. Jeb needs to put an exclamation point behind his performance, said Stein, referring to Bush's campaign slogan. He's an excellent and competent executive, but people are waiting to see if he can rally their hearts and minds. I don't know that he can, but we shall see. We shall see. Then, of course, there's this. How many candidates are going to be left? How many candidates are going to be in the third debate? Which of those are we going to lose? You know, that comes up in just a little bit. Do the candidates need to channel Ronald Reagan? To a degree, they do. It's going to be tough. There are some guys that really are well positioned to do so. Marco Rubio, for example. You know, Marco Rubio's in a little bit of trouble politically because he supported an amnesty plan in the United States Senate. Ronald Reagan actually signed one. So if he's able to channel the guy whose library he stands in tomorrow, he might have a very, very good night. By the way, Jeb Bush, who just opened up his field office in Miami, was wearing a Reagan Bush T-shirt from 1984. Yeah, so the Gipper still in the game. Then there's Hugh Hewitt. Candy Caroli, who was the CNN, I guess, protagonist for the presidential debate between Mitt Romney and President Obama, is going to be replaced with Hugh Hewitt of Salem Broadcasting, Salem Media. Hugh Hewitt, my colleague, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, okay, has argued in front of the Supreme Court. Really? Yeah, that's the guy I work with. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, he can't set the points on a 67 Ford Mustang with a 427 high riser. I can. Anyway. What is going to happen with Hugh Hewitt? Well, Ben Carson says he's a novice in foreign policy. I assure you that Hugh Hewitt is not. What about Trump? Is he going to be able to prove that he knows a Sunni Muslim from a Shiite? How about Carly Fiorina's time on the CIA's External Advisory Board? Is that going to help her with some bit of knowledge about the clandestine services? So we'll see. He has a reputation for asking tough questions, and we will see if that is indeed what happens. And then, of course, who's going to be left? Are we going to see John Kasich after this debate? Are we going to see former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee? Mike Huckabee, thank you. We're going to see him after this debate. Who are we going to see? Scott Walker, down at about 3.8%. He's got to get with it. So what I want to know is this. What are you expecting about tomorrow night's debate? Who do you hope goes down in flames? Who do you hope rises to the occasion and really makes a big impact? And why? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. One of the interesting things is to see what the Republicans are doing with Donald Trump. They are slowly falling to pieces. I'll explain that as we continue tonight with this very important pre-debate special on the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer. Hi, this is Jon-David Wells from the Wells Report with Walt Parker here from InvestingMakesMeSick.com. Walt, I was looking at your new website. I've got to admit, I'm impressed.
We keep telling people there's more to investing than just stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities. Our new website is full of information about these alternative investments. You need to understand your investments. We also provide our We Come to You service and spend the time necessary to help people know they have other options than just stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities. Website is great, but nothing beats a face-to-face discussion to help you with your investment decisions.
Most people say they listen to your ads for 2 years before calling. Don't wait 2 years. Call Walt right now, 972-463-3833. That's 972-463-3833, or visit their new website at investingmakesmesick.com. All investments involve risk. Investments may be considered speculative and incur substantial fees and expenses borne by the investor. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Titan Securities. InvestingMakesMeSick.com and Titan Securities are not affiliated.
The calendar says September. Kids are back in school. People are playing football, but it's still hot. And you may know this particularly in your own home because your AC is not working the way it should. Don't let this ride. Call my air conditioning company, Walker AC. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, in business for 52 years, family owned. Absolutely great folks. You know what they're going to do? They're going to come out and make your AC work. There's a lot of hot weather left. You need an AC system that works. You might need a new one, but you might not. They're not going to throw a new one at you when all you really need is some reliable repairs. And at Walker AC, they're all about reliable repairs, have been for over half a century. They're also all about new systems when you need one and having you save a bunch of money on those new systems. Same day service if you have an emergency, reliable people, folks you can trust. And isn't that what you're looking for in an AC company? Walker AC, give them a buzz. 972-4-WALKER. 972-4-WALKER. Don't be hot. I know it's September, but don't be hot. 972-4-WALKER or walkerac.com.
You want to live life to the fullest, but you think testosterone replacement might be the answer? Well, it's not. Did you know synthetic hormone injections and smelly creams can cause blood clots, strokes, and even heart attacks? This is Lauriston Crockett, and I created GenoStem just for you. I'm 56 years old. My testosterone levels are always in the normal range, and I believe yours can be too. I take GenoStem, and I have a loss of body fat, increased lean muscle mass, more energy, better sleep, amazing relief of joint pain, and I'm a better man in the gym, the boardroom, and the bedroom. GenoStem has 18 amino acids and 21 naturally occurring growth factors that has changed my life. I believe it'll change yours too. Here's what I'm going to do for you today. I'm going to give you 10% off when you enter the code USA when ordering at my website, genostem.com. That's GENOSTIM.com. Come on, now is the time to join thousands of other men and women already benefiting from GenoStem. You can make the choice to change your life today at GENOSTIM.com.
You can recognize them by the smiles on their faces and the spring in their steps. They are ready to invest. Talking about the folks who just completed the New Venture on Wall Street seminars that I talked about for most of the last few weeks. There was one in Fort Worth, one in Richardson. So why am I telling you this now? Because here comes the next one in Tyler, and it's this coming weekend at the Courtyard on South Broadway. So learn more at NVOWS.com. NVOWS.com stands for New Venture on Wall Street. Then get yourself a seat at the seminar, 877-907-TRADE, 877-907-TRADE. It's New Venture on Wall Street, Pastor David Mitchell's system. When I say system, there's no magic crystal ball or fairy dust or any kind of predictive value to this. It's just something you can do to be smarter, learn when to be in, when to be out, what to do, what not to do. People who've taken this training are doing a lot better in the stock market, like, me. Yep, I did it. I loved it. New Venture on Wall Street, NVOWS.com, this coming weekend in Tyler. Check it out. Get yourself a seat, 877-907-TRADE. 877-907-TRADE.
There was a lot to love about your timeshare. Now that it's time to get out, there's a lot to love about ResortRelease.com. ResortRelease.com helps timeshare owners terminate their contracts and end all future payments guaranteed. If you've tried to sell your timeshare, you know how impossible it can feel. But our 100% guarantee lets you legally and permanently walk away or you pay nothing. Resort Release holds a Better Business Bureau A+ rating. We're the only timeshare cancellation company in the nation with their prestigious accreditation. 2016's maintenance fees are on the way. Talk to one of ResortRelease.com's expert asset managers before that bill arrives. 800-281-9595. That's 800-281-9595. Experience ResortRelease.com's easy cancellation process and free yourself from the burden of that timeshare. Call 800-281-9595 or visit ResortRelease.com.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM. The Answer. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Tomorrow, we are going to be waiting for you at the Studio Movie Grill. We will be doing a debate watch party, and we can hardly wait to see you there. We ran out of tickets twice. That's the way it worked. And by the way, the Studio Movie Grill is at Spring Valley in 75, 13933 North Central Expressway, Dallas, 75243. If you need that address again, all you got to do is go to 660amtheanswer.com and you can find it. Let me get to Isaac in Dallas. Thanks very much for joining us, Isaac. Who do you want to see go down in flames? Who do you want to see do really, really well, and why?
So I really don't particularly care who goes down in flames. I mean, myself, I'm a huge Democrat. You're going to hate me, that's fine. But
Not at all.
I think Kasich is the strongest Republican candidate, and let me tell you why.
I don't like him.
I know, and that's good, because if you like them, then I wouldn't like them.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, Isaac, the guy is just, he's just a politician to me. He just says what he has to say.
He is. There's no doubt about it. He's a very strong jab, though, is what he is, because he has a few liberal views, the healthcare, oh gosh darn, he has a few liberal views, but when pressed on them, he's not afraid to admit it. These are my views, and this is what I hold. And people want that. People want strength. They don't want these spineless cowards anymore. It's enough of the I'm not going to answer the direct question.
Yeah, I mean, and then this political gamesmanship that only means, points on some chalkboard somewhere in the back of some room in the state in the Capitol building. It means absolutely nothing to me. I am watching this nation just like you fall on its face, and I've had enough of it.
I understand that. I definitely do. I think that everybody is really. I mean, just look at the top candidates. You have the radical left. We were vote for Bernie. If it's a vote between Hillary and Kasich, I'm voting for Kasich.
No,
I don't want her.
Yeah,
nobody wants her.
Listen, I got to be perfectly honest with you. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, Isaac, because you guys have a problem. Your party, back in I guess it was the 80s, the Christian Coalition sort of showed up and started dragging the Republican Party dramatically to the right. Well, you guys have the progressive liberals hauling the Democrat Party
to guilt coalition.
I mean, it is unbelievable. I mean, you've heard me if you listen to this show.
Of course, yeah, I'm an avid listener.
I talk about where are the real Democrats, because the other day, Deborah Wasserman Schultz was asked by Chris Matthews what the difference between a socialist and a Democrat was, and she didn't have an answer, Isaac.
I mean, I won't go into that and what the differences are, but even amongst the left, there are two types of people on the left right now. There are people that are willing to shame people for disagreeing with them. And the shame from that can often lead to losing your job, losing your political position, losing big things. I mean, there are people on the left that are for gay rights, but they're not so sure about the trans rights. They don't agree with it, but they could never say that out in the public. They would lose every standing that they have.
Sure.
So there's this regressive type of propaganda. Soviet Union.
Actually, the word you're looking for is fascist.
Yes, totalitarian fascist.
Exactly. Yeah, and it was really spooky to see it from the left.
It really was, because the only totalitarian thing that's ever come from the left is the Soviet Union.
Do me a favor, Isaac. I want to continue this conversation with you. You too, Jason. Stay right there. Jason from Flower Mound is going to join us. I'm gonna bring Isaac along with us because I want to spend some more time taking a look at this. Here's a guy that's very much like my wife, a Democrat that is looking for an alternative to what the Democrats are peddling. And why is that? You see, that's one of those dynamics of this presidential race that I think really needs to get talked about. This is the Wells Report.
Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy, here with the Big Boat and Outdoor Show. It's boating time, folks, so don't forget to tune in to the only boating talk show on 660 AM The Answer every Saturday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Brought to you by BoatSelect.com, the site with thousands of boats for sale, or list your boat for free on BoatSelect.com. I know you have questions about your boat or one you're buying. Email those questions to me at BigBoatShow@yahoo.com.
Hi, folks. Alan Thicke here. Some things in life are just too serious to take chances on, and owing money to the IRS is definitely one of those. The IRS has the power to garnish your paycheck. They can levy your bank account, even take your home or business. Seriously. Thankfully, with one simple call, you can start solving your tax debt once and for all. Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm in the nation. They have over 250 professionals. They have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau and the trust of thousands of satisfied clients. rates. Optima's attorneys can immediately protect you from aggressive collections because they are experts in the Fresh Start Initiative. That's a special IRS debt forgiveness program that could save you thousands. Don't wait till it's too late. Get serious. Call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. For more than 20 years, my headquarters for all things gold and jewelry. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange, locations across North Texas, throughout Dallas and Arlington, Euless, and Southlake. At every location, the same opportunity to get great deals on stuff you need when it's time to go shopping for jewelry. Their website says, "We vow to wow," and that's what they do for every budgetary level. Speaking of vows, if it's time for that engagement ring and you'd like something really special, something that's unique, you can help put together with the experts at DGSE, they are there. If it's time to get something to celebrate the exchange of vows with your beloved, anniversary shopping time at Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. You realize Christmas ain't that far away, right? Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange, DGSE.com. Check them out across North Texas. It is there for you for jewelry, diamonds, watches, bullion, rare coins. They'll buy stuff you don't want anymore. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange, DGSE.com.
Have you put off seeing the dentist because you can't afford to go? Are big dental bills taking a big toll on your wallet? Would you like to have dental insurance but think it's too expensive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company for a free information kit. See how you can help protect your teeth and your wallet for less than $1 a day. 1-800-944-0314. This is real dental insurance that can help cover over 300 procedures, all the ones you're most likely to need. Everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. You can see any dentist you choose, and you'll never pay a deductible. Call in the next 10 minutes, and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-944-0314. That's 1-800-944-0314. 1-800-944-0314.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I want to share with you one of the smartest things I ever did. A whole house full of windows from Statewide Remodeling. The benefits were instant. The house looked great. The resale value went way up. And the most important thing, I was saving money immediately on energy bills in the heat of the summer and the cold of the winter. Let me send you to StatewideRemodeling.com. In fact, StatewideRemodeling.com, or visit the showrooms in Irving or Collin Creek Mall in Plano. See the windows that I'm talking about. It's fantastic people doing great work and 50% off window installations and 100% financing with approved credit. The time is now to get your home energy efficient. Those builder's grade windows, you are leaking air conditioning out into the hot out of doors. Stop doing that. Get energy efficiency and beauty from windows with Statewide Remodeling. They've done so many things for me. I love them, and you will too. StatewideRemodeling.com. Check them out. Give them a call, 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095. You will love your new windows from StatewideRemodeling.com.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Now, the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Let me get to Jason before I get back to Isaac. Jason, thanks very much for joining us. Who do you want to see go down in flames in tomorrow night's debate? Who do you want to see succeed?
I would like to see definitely Jeb Bush and Lindsey Graham hit the door, and maybe all the five bottom, so we can see how that affects the vote, see how that plays out on the polls. Also, I'd like to see Cruz and Carson have good nights.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, I want to see them both do very, very well. I think that Cruz will be very, very good. I don't have any worries about him. I do believe that Rand Paul has the real potential to absolutely flame out tomorrow night.
Well, I would really like to see the bottom five just go because what we've had is such a split on a very large pie. I want to see where the numbers start falling.
Yeah.
See if Cruz or somebody else starts picking up a little momentum, and then see if Trump has got his 30%, and that's it.
All right. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. 866-660-5759. We were talking with Isaac, who is a Democrat. By the way, we'd very much like to hear what you have to say about this debate. What do you think is going to happen? Who's going to go down in flames? Who's going to be really successful and why? 866-660-5759. Isaac, you and I were talking before about the Democrat Party in some serious trouble here. And it's going to be a while, I think, before the damage is done. Did you see this coming?
So we've seen this coming for a while because the thing is, what we wanted from Obama is what Bernie is offering us. So we don't know for sure if he's going to follow through on it. His loyalty to the unions, which I know you guys don't like, shows that he cares about the people. This is the same thing that Trump has. Trump doesn't have any people he has to answer to. He just cares about public opinion because that's what matters most to him. He cares what the people think. So they're unison and lockstep in that matter. And the things that's making these two candidates on fire, in my opinion, if you want the Democrat vote, if you want any centrist vote, talk about money in politics and talk about getting it out. Because if you do that, you're going to get the real addressing the real problems that we have in the nation. There's so many donors, there's so many backhand deals where they're just letting this. I mean, the TAA agreement. I mean, that's it's the most disgusting thing this country's ever produced. We don't know anything about these deals. It's not okay. It's the biggest.
You were talking about the Obama trade situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
He's a complete sellout, Obama, to the Republicans.
Yeah, but you know, when you start going down the socialist road, I mean, you know, I don't know whether you're paying attention to some of the things. The Wall Street Journal added up what Bernie Sanders has been talking about so far. It's another $18 trillion worth of debt, Isaac.
Yeah, that's an obvious issue and a half. But we wouldn't be in this incredible debt crisis.
Yes, we would.
Let me finish. If we didn't have derivative trading go off on the train rails from Clinton administration.
Well, actually, you know what? I got to be perfectly honest with you, Isaac. That was a drop in the bucket. It was absolutely a drop in the bucket. One of the things that has to and I don't like painting with broad brushes, but there's a lot about economics that is missed by people who spend a lot of time talking about, you know, social policy, right? I mean, you know, because
I'll be the first to admit that.
Because
in my party,
yeah, and the thing about it is that there are basic things that are economic that absolutely preclude what Bernie Sanders is talking about. You can't, in order for Bernie Sanders to get anywhere, the economy has to be at zero.
Correct.
And it's not going to be there. I mean, that's just not going to happen. Therefore, Bernie Sanders is stuck. Now, once again, the Democrat Party going down this socialist bent is, to me, a road to disaster. I mean, let me ask you this. Where has it ever worked?
Only in Sweden, right? That's the only place it's worked, and that's because of their size. I mean, socialism works in size. But it's not
socialism works in very, very small countries where everybody loves each other. In other words, it's basically a family reunion, and I don't think we can see that here.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, you know, especially when you start thinking about the politics of division has been practiced by both parties for the last 50 years.
Definitely.
I mean, we're very dispirited, we're very fragmented, and so on. It's so bad that people are saying, "Look, we have to start standing together."
There's a great quote by Leon Trotsky, who I think you probably know.
Sure.
He was in the Russian Revolution back in 1918, and he was a part of 1917. He was part of the Menshevik Party before he joined Lenin's Bolshevik Party. The Menshevik Party wanted to go capitalist before going socialist. I don't think we should do that. I think we should be both at the same time because I don't think socialism works without capitalism, if that makes any sense.
The only thing I can tell you about that is this: if you want to see a great example of that, look at two things. In the midst of all of this incredible economic strength that free market capitalism provides, we have two bastions of socialism that's just plain socialism. Okay, and one, public schooling. That's thing number one. Public schooling it sucks up billions upon billions upon billions of dollars in every state in the union and returns precious little. Okay, and does not contribute to a much
it's
better
community
educated.
service.
Well, it doesn't contribute to the kind of society that the only kind of society that will ever work for any length of time in a socialist model, which is where everybody's members of the intelligentsia and basically works together to create this literally the socialist workers' paradise. But so this public school system doesn't do that. That's thing number one. Thing number two is the VA medical system. The VA medical system is a shining example of what happens when you have socialist bureaucracy that has been mated with social need. And there's no way you can escape it, Isaac. You just can't do it.
I agree, and I just want to point out something. The reason I listen to your show is because I like hearing the other side of the aisle. I like seeing what I agree and what I disagree with. I don't like this notion that we've had recently where people just label people as a racist or sexist
It's terrible.
or misogynist,
Yeah.
and then it just shuts all the conversation.
Yep.
That's it. We can never find any middle ground. We can never progress forward. But thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Isaac, before you go, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, you college educated?
No, actually, I'm a high school dropout.
Okay, you're a high school dropout. Have you got a GED? What have you got going for yourself?
I've been working with my father for the past, I guess, almost 10 years now, ever since I was 16. We run a couple of businesses, so we're well rooted in the capitalist structure.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's something that that you need to take. If I could mentor you, right? What I would do is I would look at all of the social experimentation that has happened throughout human history, and you will never see anything successful. The closest, however, was East Germany, because East Germany was populated by incredibly well-educated people. It was a small country that was not responsible for any of its own defense. All it was a collection of scientists and engineers and industrialists and their wives and children. That was the perfect socialist model, right? And it only worked until the money stopped flowing from the Soviet Union, and then it was over.
Definitely an economic disaster in terms of stability.
So you can't. And the thing about it is that while there is an attraction because of the this ought to work, remember that killed everybody at Jamestown. I mean, Jamestown was the first settlement in the United States. It was a socialist, communist experiment where everybody ended up dying. And so we're kind of in a situation where you really have to make your own way, and you're doing that. I want you to see just how, as time goes by, because you're going to go through a couple more years of this, where a government in your way, in your dad's way, is going to really infuriate you.
Definitely.
And so keep paying attention, keep listening, because I disagree with you politically right now, but something tells me that somewhere in the future things are going to be a little less different between you and me.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. I appreciate your time. Thanks much. Yeah. Okay. Bright young guy. Bright young guy listening to Barry Sanders. Yeah. What's his name? Sanders?
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie. Bright young guy listening to Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders is intellectually dishonest, and he knows it. He is willfully intellectually dishonest. You see, at the heart of everything, regardless of what people who are of the left and of the progressive movement which believes in an elite that tells everybody else what to do. At the heart of all of it is capitalism, and there always will be. Even in the most prosperous times of the Soviet Union, the best functioning part of that economy, the best, most reliable, most successful part of that economy were the little side businesses that Russians had on their own. They grew vegetables, and some guy would have a poultry farm, and some guy would have a few head of sheep, and so on and so on and so on. And these little communities, sort of worked together. And everybody found a space that was reasonably profitable for everybody. And they had a decent living. It wasn't necessarily what we would have, but it was a decent living. And they were able to put these things together because everybody had a little place in their little community. And they had carved out, in the midst of all this socialism, they had carved out this little oasis of capitalism that kept everybody fed and kept everybody warm and kept everybody happy as they could be. Well, here in the United States, at least up until the last, 15, 20 years, we were all expected to go out and make a living. If you weren't happy with your life, the responsibility was yours. Somehow that's morphed into, your problem with your life is the problem of governance, and government needs to provide a solution. The government solution killed 300,000 veterans in the last 10 years. Just about more people died waiting for health care from the Veterans Administration medical system. A perfect example of socialism in a big government scenario. Just about the same number of guys died waiting for medical care as died in the Civil War on both sides. It may work. Socialism may work for politicians. It doesn't work for anybody else. Bernie Sanders is a mess. And he's got a lot of people that are contributing to the mess that are with him. So to me, here's what I think. I think that the Republican Party has been exposed as the collection of goobers that they really are. And that exposure came from Donald Trump. Do I believe that Donald Trump would be the eventual nominee of this Republican Party? I don't know. He's got a chance. But if he's gonna, I'll tell you who doesn't have a chance. I don't think Jeb Bush has a chance. I don't think Chris Christie has a chance. I don't think Rand Paul has a chance. I think Scott Walker has a real chance to be the party's nominee. I think Ted Cruz has a real chance. I think Marco Rubio has a really good chance. I think Carly Fiorina has a really good chance, and she, by God, better have an opportunity to show it. Tomorrow night is the start. I hope she does really, really well, because the Republican Party, in many of its stupidities, keeps dealing women out of the political game, and they have to stop it. They have just got to. So tomorrow, it will be a very important debate. Who's going to go down in flames? Who's going to do well? I don't know, but I just hope the good guys do and the bad guys don't. And I hope the girl wins. You're listening to the Wells Report.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I love birthdays, and our friends at Abacus Foundation Repair are celebrating 15 years of serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair, and they want to give something to you. On their 15th anniversary, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. Not only are you going to save $1,000, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that with Abacus Foundation, you're getting the elite state-of-the-art solution for your home. Millennium composite pilings. Nobody else has them. Abacus has an A-plus business rating from the Better Business Bureau, 6 straight years running on that. The expansion and contraction of Texas soils mean a lot of us have foundation issues. You don't want to call the wrong people. Call the right people first for the absolute best foundation repair. affordable, reliable home warranty that you can pass on to subsequent owners of your home. Give them a call today, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, abacusfoundationrepair.com. Ask about 1,000 off. abacusfoundationrepair.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Let's talk about in-home sales. When I have a salesman in my home, I only want to know two things. What do I really need and how much does it cost? I just don't have time for the whole dog and pony show. So that's how we structured our sales process. There's no drawn-out sales presentation, and we don't waste your time with silly gimmicks. There's no haggling, no calling the sales manager for a secret conversation you're not a part of, and most importantly, no pressure. We simply lay out all the options, discuss the benefits, and then let you choose what's best for you. We give you the right price the first time. It's just easier that way. Right now, you can save over $3,500 on a new Carrier Infinity system. So call two other companies first, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Here's a crazy idea from Cash Call Mortgage. Take the mortgage you closed in the last year and look at redoing it at today's 15-year fixed 2.875% rate and APR with no closing costs. Just call 855-875-CASH, and with no cost or obligation, we'll tell you how much your payment could drop with the do-over refi. And you won't pay any points, deposits, or fees. None. It's so easy. Just do the regular paperwork, most of which you already did for your last refi, and we'll do the rest. So make the cash call at 855-875-CASH for today's 15-year fixed 2.875% rate and APR with absolutely no closing costs. The do-over refi, only from Cash Call Mortgage. Call 855-875-CASH and see for yourself.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. 1 City Boulevard, West Suite 200, Orange, California 92868. Equal housing lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Subject to loan underwriting. Rates may change without notice. NMLS number 128231.
Are you a business owner who is jealous of some of the great commercials you hear right here on 660 AM The Answer? Do you feel a little left out when a clever commercial plays and you wish it was about you instead? Nothing's worse than hearing a catchy commercial from a competitor who is raking in new customers each day while you still aren't advertising on the radio. It's not too late. I can still help you. My name is Brad Ballard, and I work here at 660 AM The Answer. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and I can turn you into the company everyone wants to work with. That's 214-561-9116. It's much more affordable than you might think. Don't let another competitor pass you by. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and we'll get you on the radio right away. I'll meet with you personally to brainstorm the best message possible that will rise above the rest. It's time to grow your business and sound like one of the big boys. So don't wait. Call me at 214-561-9116.
You know, I'm not a genius about money. I love my credit cards, and they love me. I was using them as a source of income, and then I got behind in my payments, and creditors were calling. I figured I had a problem, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I heard about Trinity, so I called and talked to a counselor. In half an hour, we worked out a plan. Now I've got one easy monthly payment, a lower interest rate, and I'm getting out of debt.
If you're in an endless cycle of paying on credit card balances that never seem to go away, then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity will consolidate your accounts, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call 1-800-758-5360. That's 1-800-758-5360. Call 1-800-758-5360.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio. 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report. Must hear radio on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Hi. Hey, speaking of things that make you go, huh? What? Listen to this. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson criticized San Francisco's policy of sanctuary cityism. Yeah, he said that sanctuary cities like San Francisco's are counterproductive and unacceptable. You know why he's doing this, right? Yeah. What he's doing is he's blaming the death of Kate Steinle on the city of San Francisco. Meanwhile, there are hundreds of sanctuary cities all over the United States. Okay, it's just that nobody terribly beautiful walking arm in arm with her father were killed in the cities at the time when everybody was paying attention. There have been plenty of people killed. Don't get me wrong. Right? But this one went across the country like wildfire. So Jay Johnson has said, yeah, these sanctuary cities, terrible policy. Okay, why haven't you done anything about it? That's thing number one. Thing number two, you're just lucky that San Francisco screwed it up this time. Not that you haven't screwed it up by releasing all manner of felons, deportees, and so on and so forth in virtually every other city in America, right? So nice try, Jay. We saw right through it. This is the Wells Report.
Sean Hannity thinks Hillary Clinton has more to worry about than her campaign.
If they find those lost 33,000 emails, the one she's deleted, you're going to not only find classified information, the whole Benghazi issue is going to be brought to an entire new level. And instead of worrying about being elected president, her biggest fear is going to be how much time she may have to spend in jail.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Michael Medved at 5 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, I'm Jon-David Wells here for my good friend Walt Parker at InvestingMakesMeSick.com. You've been advertising for years, Walt, but there are still people who are not familiar with InvestingMakesMeSick.com. Tell us about that.
If you're new to the DFW area and looking for investment services to help you understand your investments, as well as help you learn more about choices other than stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities, give us a call. Remember, we do offer our We Come to You service.
If you are not new to DFW and you've been listening to Walt for years, don't wait any longer. It's time to call.
Don't settle for limited investment choices. You owe it to yourself to understand your investment choices.
Walt can help you understand all your options. Call him today, 972-463-3833, or log on to investingmakesmesick.com.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Titan Securities. Member FINRA SIPCI. InvestingMakesMeSick.com and Titan Securities are not affiliated. Investment subject to individual investor suitability and risk tolerance. Investments involve a high degree of risk and may be considered speculative and may result in the entire loss of the amount invested. May also incur substantial fees and expenses which are borne by the investor.
The calendar says September. Kids are back in school. People are playing football, but it's still hot. And you may know this particularly in your own home because your AC's not working the way it should. Don't let this ride. Call my air conditioning company, Walker AC. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, in business for 52 years, family owned, absolutely great folks. You know what they're going to do? They're going to come out and make your AC work. There's a lot of hot weather left. You need an AC system that works. You might need a new one, but you might not. They're not going to throw a new one at you when all you really need is some reliable repairs. And at Walker AC, they're all about reliable repairs, have been for over half a century. They're also all about new systems when you need one and having you save a bunch of money on those new systems. Same-day service if you have an emergency, reliable people, folks you can trust, and isn't that what you're looking for in an AC company? Walker AC, give them a buzz. 972-4-WALKER. 972-4-WALKER. Don't be hot. I know it's September, but don't be hot. 972-4-WALKER or WalkerAC.com.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. 4 dead, 3 missing after flash flooding in Utah's Zion National Park. And a dozen more were killed along the Utah-Arizona border when floods swept their 2 vehicles away.
Officials say although floods are relatively common in Hilldale, the size and speed of this one took everyone by surprise. Here's Hilldale Mayor Philip Barlow.
I've lived here all my life, and I've never seen anything like this.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt reporting. Vladimir Putin says the only way to beat ISIS is by working with the Assad regime. Russian military hardware has been pouring into Syria. The State Department says that's a mistake.
We still believe that military support for the Assad regime is counterproductive to the ultimate goal of a peaceful resolution in Syria.
Spokesman Peter Cook. Meanwhile, Secretary of State John Kerry tells his Russian counterpart that by supporting Syria's Assad, Russia risks exacerbating and extending the conflict. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer.
The next GOP debate promises to be the best yet, and you are invited. Hi, it's Hugh Hewitt. Join me along with CNN's Jake Tapper and Dana Bash for exclusive radio coverage live from the Reagan Library. Special guest, Mike Gallagher's Hillsdale College Focus Group. And your phone calls, the GOP debate live right here on your favorite radio station.
That coverage begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
I don't know about you, but I love content with a purpose. I love entertainment, knowledge, and thoughtful content that makes me think. I love being inspired to live my best life. And I enjoy when someone illuminates the human experience. Perspectives with Ashley Burgess is the quintessential talk show illuminating life experiences and providing tips to making life even better. Tune into Perspectives with Ashley Burgess every Saturday evening, 7 to 9 p.m. and jumpstart your life.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. The recent controversy surrounding Kim Davis in Kentucky should not be understood as a milestone in the struggle for religious liberty, but it does illustrate a dangerous, destructive tendency among too many conservatives. The problem with her fight was that she had no chance to win. There is no way, legally or politically, to stop Rowan County from issuing licenses for same-sex weddings. The same mentality surrounded the doomed, foolish government shutdown nearly 2 years ago. With Obama as president, there was no chance of pressuring him to abandon Obamacare. A third example involves the recent push by some presidential candidates to end the long-established understanding of the 14th Amendment regarding birthright citizenship. If conservatives keep staging unpopular fights they can't conceivably win, the disillusioned grassroots will lose interest in fighting and in conservatism. I'm Michael Medved.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis from the friends at Good Feet, America's #1 arch support. And that invites the question, who needs arch support? Answer is more people than you think. Do your feet hurt at the end of a day? That's not just the way life is supposed to be. You should have arch support where your feet feel great even at the end of a long day of walking. If your feet hurt at the beginning of the day, man, you got all kinds of issues and they can be helped. You can get out of pain with arch support. It could be structural misalignment, plantar fasciitis, kind of a foot alignment, supination, overpronation, all these technical things that they know about at Good Feet. And what you'll know is you can walk in pain. You can limp in and walk out pain-free. This happens with so many people. I want to send everybody to goodfeetdfw.com, goodfeetdfw.com, Plano, Fort Worth, South Lake. Absolutely fantastic people. No shots, no medicine, no surgery, just relief from pain. So get out of pain today, 888-660-0942. 888-660-0942 or goodfeetdfw.com. That's goodfeetdfw.com.
Dallas Baptist University Women's Night Out featuring Shonda Pierce, Thursday, October 15th, 2015, with Lindsay McCall and Karen Williams.
You ever tried to put on a pair of Spanx in an airplane bathroom? My body twisted in ways I didn't know could.
Focus on the funny. Get your women's group together for a fun night out. Women's Night Out at Northwood Church in Keller, Texas.
So, there I was. I didn't want to give in to the peer pressure, but they already had their bags of mascara out and their lipstick, and I'm like, what I got? Blistex.
Tickets on sale at iTickets.com. Call 1-800-965-9324. For group tickets, go to getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751. Buy 10 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket. Buy 30 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket and get 2 free tickets. From Salem Media Group, Inc. and Awakening Events.
There are times when people need a little extra money, honest, hardworking people, and some banks don't always make it fast or easy. But finally, there's a company that gets it that could help my listeners that need the money. Avant. You simply go to avantoffer.com to check your rate risk-free with no effect on your FICO score. Complete your application in minutes and the funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If any of my listeners need a loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to avantoffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. For this offer and to check your rate risk-free, go to avantoffer.com and enter promo code Prager. That's AVANT offer.com, promo code Prager. Loans made by WebBank and by affiliates of Avant Incorporated. California loans offered by Avant are made under finance lender's license number 603K124. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
We gave Tom 12 seconds to give 6 reasons why he opened a Mathnasium Learning
Learning Center franchise. Okay, great income potential. Doing good for kids, doing what I love, making math make sense to kids. 500 centers open already, one every 3 days. Mathnasium taught me the business, helps me, supports me.
Time's up. Pretty good. For franchise information, visit mathnasium.com or take the first step right now. Call 855-361-MATH. That's 855-361-6284.
Dallas, Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. For those of you who are concerned about what may or may not happen at tomorrow night's debate, what you need to do is you need to remember just how incredibly bad off Democrats are in this election. They're in trouble. Let's put it this way. The only person out there that can save the Democrats' chances for 2016 is Joe Biden. What kind of shape would the Democrat Party be in? What kind of shape would that party have to be in to look at Joe Biden as their savior? Oh, my God. Don't get me wrong. Joe Biden's a good American. He's really served his country. He's a good guy. Is he a president? No. Not by the faintest stretch of the imagination is he a president. No way. But take a look at just what's going on in the Democrat chase for the presidency. Hillary Clinton has violated espionage laws. She's in big legal trouble. She may be the only presidential candidate that's actually trying to run for the presidency while under federal probation or worse. The guy that's actually leading her is a bedrock socialist who cannot help himself from saying the dumbest garbage. Here's one. Here's something he said. Here's a little nugget of that aforementioned garbage. America was founded on racist principles. That's a fact. Oh, really? Yeah. Democrat presidential candidate Bernie Sanders told a crowd at Liberty University that America was founded on racist principles and that the country took a huge step forward in electing Barack Obama in 2008. Sanders, you are a complete idiot. I hope that every person in this room today understands that it is unacceptable to judge people, discriminate against people based on the color of their skin. I will also say that as a nation, the truth is a nation that in many ways was created, I'm sorry to have to say this, from way back, on racist principles. That's a fact. No, it's not. It's more intellectual dishonesty. We've come a long way as a nation. Now, I know my guess is that probably not everybody here is an admirer or a voter for Barack Obama. But the point is, in 2008, this country took a huge step forward in voting for a candidate based on his ideas and not the color of his skin. I'm sorry, Mr. Sanders, but I'm reasonably sure that we've done that at many times in the nation's history. And you know that to be true as well. This is garbage. Absolute dead level, dumb garbage. But what do you expect from Sanders? You go back and you read all of those founding documents. I want you to find something racist in the Declaration of Independence. For that matter, I want you to find something racist in the Constitution of the United States. There's not a shred of racism in the document at all. What these people were talking about was equality, freedom, liberty. That's what they were talking about. That's what those papers talk about. And that Bernie Sanders cannot figure out that this country is great, and thinks that for whatever reason that it was based on racist principles is pure gobbledygookian dumbassery. Okay, who else do they have? Joe Biden, the unelectable gaffe machine. Bernie Sanders, the intellectual culprit of socialism. Who else do they have? Why, they have Martin O'Malley. How did Martin O'Malley distinguish himself today? Glad you asked. He indicated that gun control is part of his plan for restoring the American dream. O'Malley pledged that his gun control policies are designed to cut all deaths from gun violence in half: homicides, suicides, and accidents within 10 years. According to CNN, O'Malley said expanding background checks to every gun purchase, whether from a licensed dealer, online posting, or private sale, will be step one. This means every gun purchaser will have to pass the same background check Virginia gunman Vester Lee Flanagan passed to get his gun, which is the same background check Lafayette Theater gunman John Russell Hauser passed to get his gun, the same gun check which Aurora movie theater gunman James Holmes passed to get his gun. So in other words, he's going to base his background plan on failure. By the way, I'm trying to figure out if this background check system is so terrible and so awful, how come it keeps catching millions of people who shouldn't have a gun? So it catches over 2 million people that have no business with a gun at all. And yet, because it didn't catch Vester Lee Flanagan, John Russell Hauser, or James Holmes, what we need to do is we need to expand it into something that's even worse. I'm sorry, 4. Because he always brings up Gabby. He also brought up Gabby Gifford's attacker, Jared Lochner. And it's also the same one that Fort Hood gunman Nadal Hassan passed to get his gun. But O'Malley assures his supporters that expanding background checks to more gun purchases is a key part of cutting gun deaths in half within 10 years. No, what will happen is the same number of gun deaths will happen, maybe even more, which means that he'll need more draconian gun law, which will lead to more violence, more gun deaths, which leads to more draconian gun law, which is why the number one murder cities in America are all Democrat-run cities with huge gun control law. Martin O'Malley also wants everyone who wants to own a gun to obtain a fingerprint-based license, including completing safety training and a waiting period. Illinois has a firearms owner ID card system. How's that working out in Chicago? How did waiting for the state's permission to buy a gun work out for Carol Bown in New Jersey? An unarmed Bown, by the way, was stabbed to death by a former boyfriend from whom she could not protect herself because he attacked her after she had asked New Jersey's permission to have a gun for self-defense, but before New Jersey had given her an answer. She's dead. O'Malley's waiting period, which would admittedly be shorter than the time Bown had to wait, nevertheless communicates to women that defense of their lives is not really an urgent matter, that getting a gun for self-defense can be a wait of 3, 5, 7, 10 days. You can't get killed in 3, 5, 7, 10 days. You can't. It's not possible. Oh, okay. He also pledged to target federally licensed gun dealers in a way that will force them to go along with gun controls, which Congress has not yet passed. Yeah. In other words, he's just going to force them into it because he's Martin O'Malley and he's the president and it's the bully pulpit. What's he going to do? Shoot them in the head if they don't do what he tells them to? It's interesting to note that many of O'Malley's proposals were not created in a vacuum. Breitbart, the author of this article, writes, "We've seen O'Malley himself boasting of the gun controls he's implemented as governor of Maryland." Writing in the Boston Globe, O'Malley said, "In Maryland, we implemented some of the toughest measures in the nation to crack down on gun violence. The reforms we put in place, including required licensing, fingerprinting, background checks, safety training. We ensured that these requirements applied to all buyers, whether they were acquiring a gun from a dealer, a secondary sale, or as a private gift. We took actions to keep guns off the street and make them less deadly. We banned the sale of assault weapons and limited the size of magazines. And if a firearm was lost or stolen, we required it to be reported immediately to law enforcement." Note that the specifics include license requirements for firearms owners, mandated training for would-be gun owners, background checks, bans on assault weapons, and a ban on high-capacity ammunition magazines. According to the article, this is very similar to the list to the one he claims will reduce all gun deaths within 10 years nationwide. It hasn't reduced gun violence in Baltimore a bit. Far from it. Baltimore homicides hit historic highs more than once this year. CBS Baltimore reports year-to-date homicide figures were nearly 60% higher at the end of July 2015 versus what they were at the end of July 2014. That is the slate of Democrat candidates. That's all they've got. A soon-to-be convicted felon, a walking, talking idiot machine, and a crazy man from the People's Republic of Maryland. That's all they have. They got real problems. And that's good, because none of these people have policies that should see the light of day for the briefest glimmer of a moment. None of these people do, including Hillary Clinton. Listen to this, by the way, when we're talking about Hillary Clinton. The numbers in a new Washington Post ABC News poll are an alarm. Where 71% of Democrat-leaning female voters said in July they expected to vote for Clinton, only 42% do now. That's a drop of nearly 30 percentage points in 8 weeks. The period since the last survey coincides with the news that the FBI is looking into the security of email sent over a private server when Clinton used that she used when she was Secretary of State, as well as an intense media focus on her response to the controversy. The episode raised questions about her judgment, revived memories of the scandals that plagued the presidency of her husband, Bill Clinton, in the 1990s. The steep decline among women, which is sharpest among whites, is the main force driving the poll's overall numbers, which shows support for Hillary Clinton falling from 63% in July to 42% now among Democrat-leaning voters. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM, The Answer.
Bill Bennett isn't feeling sorry for Hillary Clinton.
Is there ever an instance when you ask yourself, why am I doing this again?
Yes, of course, because it really is hard, and it's, just demands everything.
I mean, we're supposed to feel sorry for her because she's running for president of the United States and she's made $100 million in speeches. Come on.
Bill Bennett's Morning in America, weekday mornings at 5, right before the Mark Davis Show at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy, here with the Big Boat and Outdoor Show. It's boating time, folks, so don't forget to tune in to the only boating talk show on 660 AM The Answer every Saturday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Brought to you by BoatSelect.com, the site with thousands of boats for sale, or list your boat for free on BoatSelect.com. I know you have questions about your boat or one you're buying. Email those questions to me at BigBoatShow@yahoo.com.
From Plano to Denton down to Louisville too. Huffine's has it. Also in McKinney, we'll prove it to you. Huffine's has it.
Huffine's has a great selection. I knew exactly what I wanted, and Huffine's had it.
And now, during Huffine's summer clearance event at both locations of Huffine's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville, get Texas-size savings on a Texas-size selection of new Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Rams. Plus, Huffine's saves you even more with the highest cash rebates, lowest financing available, and top dollar for your trade. For more, click to Huffines.net or come to Huffine's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano at Ohio and Coit Road, or in Louisville, Huffine's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on I-35 just north of 121. And remember, for award-winning sales, service, and over 90 years of Texas values, Huffine's has it.
Huffine's has it.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I want to share with you one of the smartest things I ever did. A whole house full of windows from Statewide Remodeling. The benefits were instant. The house looked great. The resale value went way up. And the most important thing, I was saving money immediately on energy bills in the heat of the summer and the cold of the winter. Let me send you to StatewideRemodeling.com. In fact, StatewideRemodeling.com, or visit the showrooms in Irving or Collin Creek Mall in Plano. See the windows that I'm talking about. It's fantastic people doing great work and 50% off window installations and 100% financing with approved credit. The time is now to get your home energy efficient. Those builder's grade windows, you are leaking air conditioning out into the hot out of doors. Stop doing that. Get energy efficiency and beauty from windows with Statewide Remodeling. They've done so many things for me. I love them, and you will too. StatewideRemodeling.com. Check them out. Give them a call, 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095. You will love your new windows from StatewideRemodeling.com.
Sample comes with a 90-day order. Copays and deductibles may apply.
If you or someone you care for are using painful urinary catheters, Medical Direct Club can help. There's a new catheter that hurts less, and you can get a free sample with free shipping by calling now. Pain and urinary tract infections can be avoided if you're using urinary catheters. The new disposable catheters from Medical Direct Club hurt less due to an incredible new design that reduces pain by gliding easily and effortlessly. Old catheters can scrape and cut, causing pain and infection. These new catheters from Medical Direct Club are changing the lives of people who use urinary catheters. Medicare and your insurance will pay for up to 200 of these new catheters per month at little or no cost to you. Medical Direct Club handles all of the paperwork with your doctor and includes lifetime free shipping when you join. Membership and a free sample are free, so call Medical Direct Club now. 1-800-600-1127. That's 1-800-600-1127. End painful cathing today. Call 1-800-600-1127.
What would an extra $250 a month mean to you? For some, it's a little financial breathing room. For others, it's a car payment, a home repair, or help with college tuition. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and I've got some great news if you're looking to save money on your mortgage. All it takes is a simple phone call to Quicken Loans at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. Folks who refinance with HARP can save an average of $250 a month. That's $3,000 a year. Our home loan experts fully understand the HARP guidelines, and they'll walk you through our streamlined process. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equalizing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report is on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number 866-660-5759. Let me get to Jeff in Arlington, Texas. Jeff, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show. Hi.
Thank you.
The litmus test I use when I look at these politicians is I ask myself, regardless of their sex, and of course, obviously I'm a male, is whether or not I would want that person as my spouse. And that provides me a litmus test with regard to how I feel about them on a very deep level, as well as looking at them in their actions in public and how they are. Whether or not they're a player, whether or not they're faithful, whether or not they mean what they say, whether or not they're stand upright and tough, and whether or not they believe the same things I do.
So where does that lead you in this, in your consideration process so far?
Well, so far, taking a look at it, I think I would be rather enamored with Mr. Trump. I don't think I'd do very well with Miss Hillary. Some of the others, Bernie Sanders and so on, I'm afraid they'd leave me toting the wagon myself. I'm afraid I'd be spending many nights alone and just not having anybody to communicate with. And of course, I don't mean that emotionally or whatever, but I'm talking intellectually. Those people, where they have their values and their objectives, are really not about us. When it's not about the country.
No.
It's about some objective they have internally to them, and that's not good for the nation as a whole.
I agree 100%. I appreciate your perspective. I have been saying for years that you've got to elect somebody you know. You can't elect somebody you don't know, which is going to require that all of us spend a lot more time getting to know these people, getting to know what they're really all about, getting to know what makes them tick. Pay attention to the nuance. Watch what they do. I frankly couldn't care less if Hillary Clinton was the greatest presidential candidate on the face of the earth. I grew up in a house where Dad's security clearance made it possible for us to live a pretty damn good life. That meant absolutely nothing to Hillary Clinton. Nothing. What Dad knew was so important that people would die if they knew what it was. And Hillary Clinton treated it like it was no big deal, and I guarantee you, people died because of what she knew and what she had in an insecure, unsecured email server in some closet in Colorado. I have absolutely no interest in that person. No interest in Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not as stupid as he sounds, but he sounds stupid because he's trying to say something really clever, and he's not smart enough to be able to pull it off. So he ends up looking stupid. He's a good guy. He's an American patriot, I believe, but he's not a president. John McCain, in comparison, John McCain looks like Thomas Jefferson. And John McCain wasn't a president. No. I sit back and I look at all this and I'm saying the only people that can lose this presidential chase for the Republicans are the Republicans. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
The calendar says September. Kids are back in school. People are playing football, but it's still hot. And you may know this particularly in your own home because your AC's not working the way it should. Don't let this ride. Call my air conditioning company, Walker AC. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, in business for 52 years, family owned. absolutely great folks. You know what they're going to do? They're going to come out and make your AC work. There's a lot of hot weather left. You need an AC system that works. You might need a new one, but you might not. They're not going to throw a new one at you when all you really need is some reliable repairs. And at Walker AC, they're all about reliable repairs, have been for over half a century. They're also all about new systems when you need one and having you save a bunch of money on those new systems. Same-day service if you have an emergency, reliable people, folks you can trust, and isn't that what you're looking for in an AC company? Walker AC, give them a buzz. 972-4-WALKER. 972-4-WALKER. Don't be hot. I know it's September, but don't be hot. 972-4-WALKER or walkerac.com.
Do you use a CPAP device for sleep apnea? Are you tired of dragging your bulky in-home device everywhere you travel? Then you need to know about Transcend, the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It lets you sleep in total comfort anywhere you go. And right now, you can try it risk-free for 21 days by calling 1-800-500-5711. Transcend from minicpap.com is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can sleep comfortably even while flying. Transcend is our smallest, lightest, and most portable mini CPAP design ever, offering all the performance of a bulky standard in-home device. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably. Call minicpap.com now for your 21-day in-home trial. 1-800-500-5711. Again, that's 1-800-500-5711.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas, December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
Now is the time to save on hardwood and more at Lumber Liquidators' end of summer clearance sale. We're making room for new fall inventory. That means it's your chance to get an incredible deal on solid pre-finished hardwood for just 99 cents. Wide plank, hand-scraped oak for $1.99. Beautiful carbonized bamboo for $129. Plus, get 10 to 15% off Morningstar Bamboo, the #1 selling brand of bamboo flooring. Top quality laminate and vinyl plank from 49 cents and 24-month special financing. Hurry, the end of summer clearance sales going on now. Visit lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
Treating prostate cancer is USMD's Prostate Cancer Center's mission. At USMD, you will find compassionate physicians, state-of-the-art care, and lots of hope, all under one roof. Please join USMD's Prostate Cancer Center's charity golf event to drive out prostate cancer on Thursday, September 24th at the TPC Four Seasons Las Colinas in Irving. Proceeds from this event will benefit the Prostate Cancer Foundation and Cuisine for Healing. Get teed off about prostate cancer. Go to 888prostate.com and click on the homepage to register today.
Hey, it's Flo, and this is my impression of a 12th century architect having a conversation with a modern-day contractor. Where art thou, quartz drawbridges and marble gargoyles? Literally, there's not going to be any of that. What say thee of a moat? I needeth choices, like how Noble Progressive has so many different coverage options to help protect your small business. Yeah, but the flying buttress is still out. My heavens, you're unfaltering!
Visit ProgressiveCommercial.com to learn about coverage that's right for your small business. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Are you ready to take your diabetes management to the next level? Put the Contour Next meter to the test and challenge your meter. The Contour Next meter makes testing easy and highly accurate with close to lab level results. And J.D. Power ranked Bayer's portfolio of meters highest in customer satisfaction with blood glucose meters. So take the challenge. Go to ContourNextChallenge.com, get a free meter, and enter to win free test strips. Find Contour Next at your local Walgreens.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. If it's important to you, we're talking about it right now on the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Hi. Telephone number 866-660-5759. So tomorrow night, it is a debate watching party. Begins at probably about 4 o'clock. I think we're all showing up at about 4 o'clock. The actual razzmatazz begins at 5 o'clock, and we'll be there waiting for you. So Donald Trump is the guy that's out in front of this. It all comes back to Trump. And he was in Dallas yesterday, and Bud Kennedy was there, and Bud wrote a column that was kind of strange. I mean, I like Bud Kennedy; he's a great guy, but and he calls it the way he sees it. He's an honest man, so I always read his columns every single time. But I don't know that I agree with this one. Trump told a Dallas crowd that America is great and so is he, but ego and braggadocio don't amount to public policy. Fearful Latinos outside are Texans and voters too. Okay. Then Bud goes on to this. He says, America is only for Americans and Americans' sons and daughters. I win, Trump says. Everybody but me is a loser. But governing isn't that simple, and the tire kickers in Dallas Monday night aren't all simple-minded. True, no doubt about that. You don't handle global trade by saying, we win, you lose, or solve problems by saying, I'll fix it, it'll be the best ever. Actually, Bud Kennedy, I'm sure he remembers that Ronald Reagan said, I have a policy, we win, you lose. That's it. That's exactly what Donald Trump is saying. Despite his Make America Great Again buttons, Barbara Mark Rain of Kenton was realistic. We just want a fresh approach. True. We're getting shafted in trade by everybody. I like what he said about how we don't win anymore. We want to win. Some came to see a celebrity. Others came to loyally back a Republican. But some also came from the party underworld of birthers, birchers, Buchananites, suspicious of global trade, diversity, and anything foreign. Gosh, Bud. You know, I don't care how many times you use pejorative terms against people who don't have answers to simple questions. But those simple questions have yet to be answered yet. Birchers. Just exactly what has the John Birch Society gotten so wrong where President Obama is concerned? Buchananites? What are you saying, that there's no room in American government for the Constitution anymore? Suspicious of global trade? No, we're suspicious of global trade that screws America. Diversity? We've had diversity rammed down our throats our entire lives. Rammed down our throats our entire lives. And anything foreign. See, this is where this nativist argument is trying to get some traction. See, here's what I think. I think that American citizenship should stand for something. Don't you? I think that people that are here in the United States who are not American citizens should not have the same rights I do. Do I believe they should have the Bill of Rights? Sure, I do. But I got to be perfectly honest with you. You step out of line and you're not a citizen of the United States, we're going to deport you. Period. Think about what would happen from a standpoint of immigrants breaking American law, especially when you consider that most immigrants, most people in jail in the United States are immigrants. What would happen if we started deporting those people when they got a DUI? Just deported them. Tell them you're no longer welcome in the nation. We catch you again, we're going to throw you in jail for all day. A couple of things would happen. Most of the people in the country as immigrants wouldn't drink and drive. Because they'd want to be able to make sure that their USA privileges were intact. And we probably have a few more people walking around that we don't have now. Kate Steinle being a member of that group. And don't hassle me about birthing, or about being a birther. Bud Kennedy says that there's a party underworld of birthers following around Donald Trump. Those questions haven't been answered yet. Why does the President of the United States have a Social Security number that doesn't go through E-Verify? Answer that question. Don't call names. Give me facts. Cheryl Serber of Fort Worth, a former nominee for Justice of the Peace, said she's for Trump because he's a natural-born citizen, unlike Ted Cruz, Bobby Jindal, Marco Rubio, or Rick Santorum. Rick Santorum? Really? In the conspiracy world, all are ineligible because both parents must be citizens. Well, Bud, it's not quite as simple as all that. Before President Obama, we had a pretty good idea of what a natural-born citizen was. That was a child born in the United States or one of its protectorates of two American citizens. They could either be natural-born American citizens or naturalized American citizens. But that's what an American-born citizen is. And oh, by the way, it is a failure of government that we have to debate just exactly what a natural-born citizen is. That's a failure of government. A failure of the very politicians that you seem to be in league with. The only problem with it is, in this election at least, as far as many Republicans are concerned, those people you're in league with are past tense. The conservative ideal passed them by. Outside, rally guests exchange words with local Latino groups and Democrats who came to protest. Seth Gomez, 21 of Fort Worth, a University of North Texas film major, marched a mile with a sign, "Trump equals hate. We are not rapists. Don't vote for white supremacy. Trump doesn't equal hate. Trump equals a much more real look of what we're dealing with than you would like to be happy, than you would like to see be true. That's not Donald Trump's problem. That's your problem. We are not rapists. Fine, you are not rapists. Many people who are here illegally are rapists. And oh, by the way, Seth, are you an American citizen? If you're an American citizen, he wasn't referring to you. So why don't you shut up? And then the don't vote for white supremacy. I don't think that Trump is a white supremacist. I think he's an American supremacist. What's wrong with being an American supremacist? Unless you hate America. And if you hate America, once again, why are you here? Gomez went on to say his rhetoric and his policies correlate with white supremacist views because he's disenfranchising an entire population of Hispanics. What is he talking about? Are you talking about legal Hispanics? If you're talking about legal Hispanics, Donald Trump isn't talking about you. He's talking about illegal immigrants. Nobody's disenfranchising anybody that shouldn't be disenfranchised because they're not citizens. You have to be a citizen to be franchised. Let me get to Calvin. Oh, Calvin from Keller, Texas. Hi, Calvin. Welcome.
Jon-David Wells, hello, sir. I got two things to say because I was down there with Donald Trump last night.
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you, first off, Bud Kennedy, that guy from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, you're reading his column.
Yes,
he ain't been straight since Ronald Reagan knocked that there finger paint stain off his hero Gorbachev's forehead. You know what I mean?
What was a fingerprint stain, Calvin?
Put a pop knot on his head, and that was it. But
that was
listen,
a port wine.
I come out of that there Trump rally last night. He was just great. And this little Hispanic feller comes up to me, and he starts screaming at me. He's yelling, "KKK, go away!" And I'm kind of looking around and going, well, I ain't got no sheet on. Who's he talking to?
Exactly.
And this guy's screaming at me. He's like a crazy person. I said to him, okay, well, I got some bad news for you. We're deporting you because you're too stupid to stay in the U.S. And coming from me, that's quite an indictment.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean? I'm a humble feller, but that little guy, he's calling me KKK. We just got to kick stupid people out of this country, Jon-David. I don't care what race they're from.
Okay,
all right, that's all I got to say. I love your show. You're the best show on radio. Everybody else is just a crock.
Well, thank you very much, Calvin. I really appreciate that. I do. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is really good. There's never an opportunity to miss quoting Domingo Garcia, noted racist here in the United States and in North Texas. Domingo Garcia is just he is a degenerate anti-white racist. That is just who Domingo Garcia is, okay? He told 1,000 marchers that Texas is a bicultural and bilingual state. No, it's not. It doesn't make any difference whether you are Anglo or whether you are Hispanic. We are all Texans, Domingo, except for you. You're a divider. You're somebody that wants everybody at each other's throats. We're proud of our heritage. Proud of our Tejano black and brown. Yeah, well, what if I say I'm proud of my white Texas heritage? What are you going to say to that, Domingo? Oh, it's only racist if I talk about my skin. It's perfectly okay to be racist if you're talking about your skin. The hypocrisyometer is pegging so hard, I can barely hear myself over the clattering. Of Texas's 9 million Latinos, 4 million are voters. Less than half of the 9 million Latinos in Texas are voters. That means you are representing a bunch of anti-American law, anti-Texas hooligans that are essentially cheating their way into living in the American society and the American dream. Now, Domingo, I told you this 5 years ago. If you wanted to go to Washington, D.C. and fight for a real immigration system, I'd be right there with you. You remember that? But this race-baiting drivel that you keep throwing out there, it really does show all your cards, man. You know, racism looks really ugly on you, Domingo. I really hope that someday you're able to stop it. And Bud, I don't know what you're getting out of that, man, but I just got to say that this is not one of your greatest columns, which is why I didn't have you on the air to talk about it. Love you, though. You're listening to the Wells Report.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. The recent controversy surrounding Kim Davis in Kentucky should not be understood as a milestone in the struggle for religious liberty, but it does illustrate a dangerous, destructive tendency among too many conservatives. The problem with her fight was that she had no chance to win. There is no way, legally or politically, to stop Rowan County from issuing licenses for same-sex weddings. The same mentality surrounded the doomed, foolish government shutdown nearly 2 years ago. With Obama as president, there was no chance of pressuring him to abandon Obamacare. A third example involves the recent push by some presidential candidates to end the long-established understanding of the 14th Amendment regarding birthright citizenship. If conservatives keep staging unpopular fights they can't conceivably win, the disillusioned grassroots will lose interest in fighting and in conservatism. I'm Michael Medved.
Hey, Mark Davis from my friends at USMD Prostate Cancer Center to talk about the first annual golf tournament to raise funds for prostate cancer research right down the road here at TPC Las Colinas. It's Thursday, September 24th. And here is my friend, Dr. Rich Bevan Thomas, to tell us more.
Well, it's all going to work. It's a tournament, and it's going to be on September 24th. And ideally, we wanted to create a tournament really to raise awareness about prostate cancer and also raise funds for research for prostate cancer. We decided to go to the best place we could find, which locally was the TPC Four Seasons. And when we do things, we try to do them the absolute best. And it's going to be a tournament, and it's going to be, just the usual tournament setup. It's going to start late morning, early afternoon. And our goal really is to raise funds for not only just the Prostate Cancer Foundation, but also Cuisine for Healing, and raise funds to help with research as well as nutrition for patients with prostate cancer.
Everybody can sign up at 888prostate.com. That's 888prostate.com. Usual place I've always sent people for info about the wonderful folks at USMD Prostate Cancer Center.
Let's make an offer on that Aspen Street house.
That one doesn't have a home warranty.
Is that a problem?
Not if you like paying through the nose on home system breakdowns.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like if the air conditioner quits, want to pay for a new one? Do you know how to fix the water heater, the plumbing?
Got it. Let's only look at places with home warranties.
A home warranty from American Home Shield protects homeowners against unexpected covered repairs and breakdowns of major home systems and appliances. Who would want to move into a new home without one? Just ask your local real estate professional, or for complimentary helpful information about a home warranty from American Home Shield, call now at 1-800-720-6695. Service requests are subject to a fee for each trade call. Some exclusions and limitations apply. An American Home Shield home warranty instantly gives home buyers confidence in their purchase. For complimentary helpful information, including terms, rates, and coverage, call 1-800-720-6695. 1-800-720-6695.
Are you ready to take your education to the next level? Arizona State University now offers over 90 top-tier degree programs, 100% online. With ASU's highly ranked online programs, you'll earn the same degree as our on-campus students, with the ability to learn wherever you want, whenever you want. Same world-renowned faculty, same leading education, same global recognition from one of the top universities in the world. Call 1-800-505-8965. That's 1-800-505-8965.
I'm Jamie from Sherman Oaks, and I just graduated with my degree from Arizona State University. I chose ASU because I received the quality education I deserve in the major I wanted, all from my home.
Jamie's not the only one to earn a degree from ASU. There are over 90 degree programs offered 100% online from one of the top universities. Now's the time to learn more about earning your degree online from Arizona State University. Call 1-800-505-8965. That's 1-800-505-8965.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. You could say my friend Josh DeShong is a confident realtor, and why not? His sales numbers are huge. He sold our house, so we'll love him forever. But he wants you to know he is so sure that he can sell your house. He'll sit down with you, agree on a price and a time frame. If it doesn't happen, he buys your house, and you can walk away at any time.
If you hire us and after 2 hours you're unhappy or we're not living up to your expectations, you can terminate without penalty. You don't owe me a dime. You can say, hey, Josh, you're fired. Get your sign and leave. Doesn't ever happen, but you can do it if you'd like to.
That's what I was going to say. I'm guessing these are not conversations you have often. The conversations you usually have are, hey, Josh, thank you for selling my house. Kind of like the conversation you and I had.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Make a decision to get serious about selling your home. Do it today. He did it for me. He can do it for you. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
This is 660 AM. The Answer. Now, by popular demand, the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Let's see what else is going on. By the way, I was talking about Domingo Garcia and talking about how, can you imagine? Who's handling their public relations? 9 million Hispanics in Texas. 4 million of them are voters. That's the entire story right there. You know, Domingo, what you need to do is sit down and shut up and count your blessings, because you got more than half of the Hispanics in Texas living here pretty well without being here legally. What do you want? And by the way, 92% of us call illegal immigration a problem. Yeah. A recent survey shows the majority of Americans think illegal immigration is a very serious problem, would support measures to deport illegal immigrants currently living within the country, such as creating a hotline to report activity connected to illegal immigration. Half of Americans would report an employer they suspected of hiring illegal immigrants. Half of Americans would support the government actively searching for illegal immigrants who have not committed any other crimes to deport them from the United States. 39% of respondents would report their neighbors for being illegal immigrants. You know, Domingo, if you keep talking, those numbers are going to get worse, not better. Now, just sit down and be quiet. This is the Wells Report.
The Mark Davis Show.
From the stage at the American Airlines Center with one candidate to the stage at the Reagan Library with 11, it's a big week in the early stages of campaign 2016. For our Wednesday show, I'll have a to-do list for all the candidates as they prep for debate night. We'll check overnight news and enjoy your input on issues large or small that you bring to the table. So do join us for our Wednesday morning conversation.
The Mark Davis Show. Weekday mornings at 7, right before Mike Gallagher at 10 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Call 267-8433 because the next best thing to do is Dalworth Clean.
Hi, Cheryl here for Dalworth Clean. And you've been hearing the Dalworth jingle for almost 40 years. And when you hear it, you probably think carpet cleaning. But Dalworth offers so much more. Dalworth can clean and restore every type of flooring in your home, including natural stone floors like marble, travertine, and slate. The combination of traffic and soil take their toll over time, robbing your stone floor of its original luster and natural beauty. Dalworth can clean, polish, and seal natural stone floors and return them to a like-new appearance for a fraction of the cost of replacement. Whether you want a high-gloss finish or a matte finish, we can create the look that's just right for you. This week, save $100 on stone polishing with any job of 200 square feet or more. So call Dalworth today and find out why it's really true. The next best thing to new is Dalworth Clean. Or visit us at Dalworth.com where you can make your appointment 24/7.
Now is the time to save on hardwood and more at Lumber Liquidators' end of summer clearance sale. We're making room for new fall inventory. That means it's your chance to get an incredible deal on solid pre-finished hardwood for just 99 cents. Wide plank, hand-scraped oak for $1.99. Beautiful carbonized bamboo for $129. Plus, get 10 to 15% off Morningstar Bamboo, the #1 selling brand of bamboo flooring. Top quality laminate and vinyl plank from 49 cents and 24 months special financing. Hurry, the end of summer clearance sales going on now. Visit lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
Lately, the stock market has been like riding an out-of-control roller coaster. But will you know when to protect what you have and get out? In 2008, many people lost 30 to 50% by not being prepared. If you're retired or retiring, don't miss the next free Money Matters retirement seminar. Choose 1 p.m. this Saturday in the Money Matters building in Plano. Tuesday, September 22nd, Hilton Garden Inn, Denton. Or Saturday, September 26th, Hilton Garden Inn, Alliance Airport. Reserve at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. Flash flooding in Utah, killing 16. 12 died when 2 vehicles were washed away by a wall of water. 4 hikers killed by water in a canyon in Zion National Park.
Obviously, this is one of the worst weather-related disasters in the history of the state of Utah, and because of that, we're bringing the full resources of the state to bear.
Utah Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox, 4 still missing in those flash floods. A $50,000 reward offered to help catch the Phoenix freeway shooter who has targeted at least 11 vehicles.
We are all incredibly aware of the fear that drivers have. Somebody out there knows something, and I'm willing to pay for that information.
Frank Milstad with the Arizona Department of Public Safety. Striking teachers in Seattle have reached a tentative agreement with the state's largest school district. Classes for 53,000 students to begin Thursday. Fox News. We report, you decide.
660 AM The Answer. Listen on iHeartRadio.
This is CNN's Jake Tapper. I'd like to invite you to join me, Hugh Hewitt, and my colleague, CNN's chief political correspondent, Dana Bash, live from the Reagan Library on September 16th for what promises to be an historic evening as the 2016 GOP candidates square off, live right here on your favorite radio station.
That coverage begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I want to share with you one of the smartest things I ever did, a whole house full of windows from Statewide Remodeling. The benefits were instant. The house looked great. The resale value went way up. And the most important thing, I was saving money immediately on energy bills in the heat of the summer and the cold of the winter. Let me send you to statewide-remodeling.com. In fact, statewide-remodeling.com, or visit the showrooms in Irving or Collin Creek Mall in Plano. See the windows that I'm talking about. It's fantastic people doing great work and 50% off window installations and 100% financing with approved credit. The time is now to get your home energy efficient. Those builder's grade windows, you are leaking air conditioning out into the hot out of doors. Stop doing that. Get energy efficiency and beauty from windows with Statewide Remodeling. They've done so many things for me. I love them, and you will too. Statewide-remodeling.com. Check them out. Give them a call, 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095. You will love your new windows from statewide-remodeling.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. People always ask me why we don't advertise on price. The answer? We advertise on quality. Imagine if Honda Accords were assembled by local car dealers instead of the factory. Well, then you'd pay a lot more attention to the quality of the dealer. Folks, replacing an air conditioner is the same thing. We're assembling that product in your attic, and the most important day of your system's life is the day it's installed. Our installation teams undergo hundreds of hours of hands-on factory and field training, and all of our installs are supervised by senior quality installation experts. Right now with Carrier's Cool Cash, you can save up to $3,500 per system. So call two other companies and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis for my friends at Viascan of Las Colinas. We're always concerned about heart disease and cancer, and we should be. You ever hear those stories about the first sign that somebody had of heart problems when they died of a heart attack? The first evidence of any kind of cancer was after it was too big to be operable. Early detection is everything. Information is power, and honestly, sometimes information is survival. This is what Viascan of Las Colinas is all about. Viascan of Las Colinas. My friend John Duncan and the gang with the body scan, the well-view scan, they call it, all the vital organs there between the shoulder and the pelvis, making sure there's no heart plaques or blockages, no little cancer spots that could rise up and take you down. This is affordable, preventive healthcare. It is not uncomfortable. It is not claustrophobic. It's fantastic. I love it, and I love the information. It's good to know what's going on inside your body. Be Viascan certain. 972-739-2840. 972-739-2840, or just Google Viascan.
Your 2-year-old has a fever and needs antibiotics. Trouble is, it's 3 a.m. and the doctor's office is closed, so you'll need to pack up all the kids and drive to the ER. But not anymore. If you have Teladoc from MyDiscountHealth.com, just call the toll-free number 24/7. You'll speak to a board-certified, state-licensed doctor who, if needed, can write a prescription right over the phone. MyDiscountHealth.com includes Teladoc with 11 other services, including dental, vision, and prescription discounts, all for less than $25 a month. Learn more by calling toll-free 844-450-2273. That's 844-450-2273. This plan is not health insurance and does not replace health insurance. Members pay participating providers directly and receive discounts immediately. Savings varies by provider and service. Cancel within 30 days and get a full refund less processing fee. Discount Medical Plan Organization is Carrington International Corp, Frisco, Texas. This plan is not available in all areas. Call 844-450-2273 or go to mydiscounthealth.com.
There are times when people need a little extra money, honest, hardworking people, and some banks don't always make it fast or easy. But finally, there's a company that gets it that could help my listeners that need the money. Avant. You simply go to avantoffer.com to check your rate risk-free with no effect on your FICO score. Complete your application in minutes and the funds could be in your account as soon as tomorrow. If any of my listeners need a loan between $1,000 and $35,000, go to avantoffer.com. Avant will give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you make your first payment on time. For this offer and to check your rate risk-free, go to avantoffer.com and enter promo code Prager. That's AVANT offer.com, promo code Prager. Loans made by WebBank and by affiliates of Avant Incorporated. California loans offered by Avant are made under finance lender's license number 603K124. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
660 AM. The answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. Some further little bits and trinkets having to do with Donald Trump and just exactly how dumb Republicans will look in an effort to talk about, about what the world would mean if Trump actually won. It's really amazing. It's really amazing what happens. Donald Trump piñatas are selling like hotcakes from Mexico to California to Texas. Folks can't resist the notion of buying a Donald Trump piñata. Yeah. The thing about this is that the first thing I thought of, what about a Hillary Clinton piñata? Aside from the fact that you'd never be able to find a clay pot big enough. What? Kind of a joke. It's just a little humor. No, but what if somebody suggested that we start selling Hillary Clinton piñatas? What about that? You think it would be something that would generate a headline, merchants can't keep up with demand for Hillary Clinton piñatas? I don't think so. I don't know whether you know who Bill Kristol is. He's a longtime Republican commentator, journalist, etc. Remember all the garbage about the Republican Party demanding that anybody running for the Republican nomination sign a pledge to support the eventual nominee, no matter who it was? Remember that? Well, Bill Kristol, he would probably have been booed at that first debate. Here's what he had to say. If Trump wins, I'd support a third-party choice. You know those Republicans that used to infuriate we conservatives by saying, hey, if a Tea Party candidate primaries out one of these stalwart Republicans from years ago, that the Republican Party in that particular part of the country would support the Democrat? That's what Bill Kristol is saying here. Yeah. And he's got a lot of company. Bill Kristol, George Will, Charles Krauthammer, Glenn Beck have all criticized Donald Trump. Beck called out Rush Limbaugh and Ann Coulter for their support of Donald Trump. These are smart people, said Beck. What am I missing? You're missing the fact that the Republican Party has turned itself into something obsolete by virtue of the fact that they will not change their playbook for any reason whatsoever. The Republican Party hasn't given conservatives anything to vote for the last two elections. As a matter of fact, it's almost like they've taken pride in not providing something for conservatives to vote for. That's what you're missing, Mr. Beck. Trump critics on the right point to his past donations to Democrats. His support of liberal policies is proof that he isn't worthy to be a GOP standard bearer. He even won praise from a pair of progressive icons, Senator Elizabeth Warren and New York Times columnist Paul Krugman, for his proposal to raise taxes on wealthy Americans. It's really interesting. Trump was booed loudly at the start of the GOP debate when he declined to commit his unconditional support to the party's eventual nominee. But Bill Kristol's doing the same thing. Isn't that interesting? You see, it's like this. Even the Republican Party is made up of Americans. Americans choose their candidates, not parties. This was the issue that George Washington feared the most. He said that political parties were a real threat to this nation. And now you see why. The only people that know who the president should be would not be Bill Kristol, George Will, Charles Krauthammer, and Glenn Beck. By the way, I respect every single one of those people immensely. But they don't get to sit around and gnash their teeth in anger and frustration that their guy isn't winning. What they need to do is they need to realize that they are commentators on the Republican Party and that the Republican Party has blown it as far as Donald Trump is concerned. They've blown it. This is what happens when you lie to your constituents for too long. They find other people to vote for. And you've got no excuse. Not from this microphone, not from the person behind it. Because I've been telling you people that you've been screwing up for years. It's horrifying and ridiculous and stupid that you're not getting it. Then we hear this. This comes out of USA Today. Paul Singer. If Donald Trump wins, what country would you flee to? Yeah. Donald Trump haters on Twitter say they'll leave the country if he becomes president. Yeah, sure. Alec Baldwin, ring a bell? In our favorite social media analysis so far this year, the digital analytics from Luminoso scoured 4.5 million Trump-related tweets from August 7th through September 9th and found out that 4% of them were promising to leave the country if Trump wins the White House. That means there are about 200,000. 75,000 would move to Mexico, meaning they're stupid. No location specified, 69,000. People going to Canada, 25,000. Until the first winter, I'll wager. United Kingdom, 11,000. Australia, 6,000. There is nothing wrong with Australia. Nothing. Well, the gun thing is annoying. Alaska, 5,800. France, 2,000. Proving that some pieces of bacon would like to leap out of the frying pan and into the fire. Hawaii, 1,500. Jamaica, 1,200. Ireland, good. 1,100. Sweden, 1,000. I'd like to go to Sweden just because I like blondes. And Brazil, 1,000. Those are people who like to swim in sewer water. Certainly, the folks moving to Hawaii and Alaska may be surprised to arrive and discover that Trump is still their president because those places are still actually parts of the United States. Luminoso's Denise Christie said the firms were not looking for this result in the Trump tweets. It was just a pattern that emerged from their content analysis. A similar look at tweets about Hillary Clinton showed a different pattern. There are really strong emotions about Hillary, but most of those are about how Hillary should be going to jail. Yeah, jail. The only people that get this Donald Trump stuff right, Byron York. Ted Cruz doesn't hesitate to express his gratitude to Donald Trump for bringing 24 million plus viewers to the first Republican presidential debate. There's no doubt Donald Trump caused a whole lot of people to watch that debate who wouldn't have otherwise turned on the TV, said Cruz. I'm grateful for his attracting a whole lot of people who had the opportunity, perhaps for the first time, to hear my, Ted Cruz's, positive, optimistic, conservative message. Without Trump, the first debate might have drawn 6, 8, maybe 10 million viewers. The same or a bit more as the most viewed GOP debates in 2012. So the Trump effect meant that somewhere between 14 and 18 million more people saw Ted Cruz and everybody else running than would have been watching without Trump. Cruz is right to be grateful. Byron York moves on to say, hey, on the flip side, if a candidate didn't do well in that first debate, Trump's presence meant a lot more people saw that too. Take Scott Walker. Some Republican candidates, not just Walker, approached their first debate believing it would be the Donald Trump show no matter what anyone else said or did. So they concluded their best bet was to play it safe, do a good enough job, avoid any big mistakes, hit a single, move on while the world buzzed about Trump. But it turned out the debate wasn't just the Donald Trump show. Yes, news reporting focused incessantly on Trump, but a lot of Republican voters saw a bigger picture. In the days after the debate, as the candidates resumed their campaign travel around the country, they realized viewers wanted more from them than playing it safe. Voters who were considering supporting Walker in particular wanted to see what he had to offer. They didn't see much. In the weeks that followed, Walker suffered a near catastrophic drop in the polls. Not all the result of the debate, but certainly part of it. On the eve of the Fox News debate, Walker was in third place with 10.6%. Today, he's somewhere around 3.8%. In Iowa, Walker was in second place on the eve of the first debate with 18.7%, less than a couple of points behind Trump today. He's tied for fourth place with 5.7%. In the first debate, Walker sought to present himself as a Washington outsider, a reasonable position for a governor of Wisconsin. But he has found that voters, at least for now, are more attracted to candidates who stand outside the entire political system. See, Byron York is a real pro. Byron York knows what he's talking about. Byron York is a serious guy that sees what the Republican Party does not see. And that is this: that the entire right spectrum of American voters have decided that the Republican Party isn't up to the task, isn't up to the job, can't handle it, and they are seeking alternatives. If there's anything that you should take out of any of this that I've said, any of this that I've shared from Byron York, that should be it. The Republican Party should be absolutely embarrassed that three relative amateurs are running circles around some of the best Republican candidates in years. This is the Wells Report.
I was coming out of the hardware store when I saw him. An old man, late 70s, hunched over in the freezing rain, no hat on his head, limping across that slippery parking lot and pushing a row of shopping carts toward the cart corral. It's heartbreaking. Millions of hardworking Americans simply don't have enough money to retire, so they just keep working and working and working until it's too late. Hi, I'm Chad Stubbs, President and CEO of Power Trader, and I believe that's just plain wrong. That's why I'm now distributing to the public absolutely free trials of the Power Trader Edge, the easy-to-use online stock trading program that helps regular folks make the money they need to retire fast. For your free trial, call 1-800-500-4744. Don't let the lack of money rob you of your retirement. Be one of the first 100 callers right now and get your free trial before it's too late. 1-800-500-4744. Don't miss out. Call now. 1-800-500-4744. 1-800-500-4744.
Hey, Mark Davis with my friend Dr. Rich Bevan Thomas, one of the great doctors over at the USMD Prostate Cancer Center, about the latest in what's going on in their effort to knock down prostate cancer.
Right now, we're focusing more and more on diagnostics. In other words, how do we find those men with prostate cancer? And one of the things that we just opened up was our imaging center, and we are now designated a Siemens Center of Excellence. And what we'll do is that for men who either have a previous history of either a biopsy or an elevated PSA, we'll get an MRI on their prostates, and we can now find those lesions that we can potentially target. And if there's a lesion on there, we then bring them over to the cancer center, and then we actually do what's called a fusion biopsy. It's really helping us find those patients with those intermediate and even high-grade disease that we can really help if we find them early enough and we treat them.
To schedule an appointment with one of their highly experienced physicians like Dr. Rich Bevan Thomas, or just to get more info, go to 888prostate.com. That's 888prostate.com. It's where I've sent you for years to find out more about the wonderful folks at USMD Prostate Cancer Center. 888prostate.com.
Have you put off seeing the dentist because you can't afford to go? Are big dental bills taking a big toll on your wallet? Would you like to have dental insurance but think it's too expensive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company for a free information kit. See how you can help protect your teeth and your wallet for less than $1 a day. 1-800-944-0314. This is real dental insurance that can help cover over 300 procedures, all the ones you're most likely to need. Everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. You can see any dentist you choose and you'll never pay a deductible. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-944-0314. That's 1-800-944-0314. 1-800-944-0314.
Dallas Baptist University Women's Night Out featuring Shonda Pierce, Thursday, October 15th, 2015, with Lindsay McCall and Karen Williams.
You ever tried to put on a pair of Spanx in an airplane bathroom? My body twisted in ways I didn't know could.
Focus on the funny. Get your women's group together for a fun night out. Women's Night Out at Northwood Church in Keller, Texas.
So, there I was. I didn't want to give in to the peer pressure, but they already had their bags of mascara out and their lipstick, and I'm like, what I got? Blistex.
Tickets on sale at iTickets.com. Call 1-800-965-9324. For group tickets, go to getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751. Buy 10 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket. Buy 30 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket and get 2 free tickets. From Salem Media Group, Inc. and Awakening Events.
Are you a business owner who is jealous of some of the great commercials you hear right here on 660 AM The Answer? Do you feel a little left out when a clever commercial plays and you wish it was about you instead? Nothing's worse than hearing a catchy commercial from a competitor who is raking in new customers each day while you still aren't advertising on the radio. It's not too late. I can still help you. My name is Brad Ballard, and I work here at 660 AM The Answer. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and I can turn you into the company everyone wants to work with. That's 214-561-9116. It's much more affordable than you might think. Don't let another competitor pass you by. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and we'll get you on the radio right away. I'll meet with you personally to brainstorm the best message possible that will rise above the rest. It's time to grow your business and sound like one of the big boys. So don't wait. Call me at 214-561-9116.
660 AM, The Answer. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. His name is Mark Davis. He will appear tomorrow morning bright and early at 7 o'clock. Mark, what have you got planned for us?
Hey, JD, happy Tuesday night. It was great to join you last night on the way out of the Trump event. It'll be great to join you tomorrow night in front of a big crowd at our debate watching party. So tomorrow morning, tell you what, I'm going to do some of what you're doing, getting everybody ready for the debate and just checking on issues flying through people's heads. From the Trump event with one candidate on stage to the debate night at the Reagan Library with 11 candidates on stage. There's a lot going on, a lot to keep track of. Overnight news, your first crack at it with me, Mark Davis Show, tomorrow morning, 7 to 10 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Thanks very much, Marcus. I'll look forward to that. 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Going through the news, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell tried to get something passed today, tried to do something to stop the Iran nuclear deal. And for the second time, Senate Democrats, who now irrefutably own the Iran nuclear deal, lock, stock, and barrel, blocked a move to move forward on a resolution rejecting the Iran nuclear deal, protecting President Barack Obama's key foreign policy initiative. It's unbelievable. A president's key foreign policy initiative quite likely will be the cornerstone of World War III, and they're bragging about it. Okay. By all means, let's protect this. The measure failed to gain the 60 votes needed to advance, just as it did last time. The final count was delayed as senators returned from Rosh Hashanah. The measure is unlikely to advance. Republicans staged the Senate vote to make political points against Democrats and in future Senate races. Unfortunately, none of that matters. That's all just garbage. Because what's really hurting the Republican Party is the notion that they're just play fighting against the Democrats. The second vote was not the final word in the Senate. Frustrated with the outcome, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell set up a third vote day after tomorrow on a measure that would bar President Obama from lifting sanctions on Iran unless Tehran recognizes Israel as a state and releases U.S. prisoners held in Iran. Either way, this debate will continue. That's actually not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Every single Democrat that votes to hold these measures back should be ashamed of themselves. Forsaking decades of Jewish support for their offices and their party. This should be a lesson to everyone who believes that the Democrat Party will save the day, will do something that actually makes their life better. This should be a wake-up call for all those people. Because for goodness gracious, what, a century? Jews have been supporting the Democrat Party, and for what? And for what? So when it comes down to crunch time to stop a deal that very likely would put Israel under the gun of a nuclear weapon being held onto and lorded over by people who absolutely believe their mission in life is to destroy the state of Israel? Really? Yeah, really. So the Democrats own it. McConnell has a plan B. He's going to bring it up on Thursday for another vote. You guys better get religion in a big hurry. That deal needs to go down. It needs to go down hard, and you need to be the agents of that change. And if not, we're going to remember. This is the Wells Report.
Bill Bennett isn't feeling sorry for Hillary Clinton.
Is there ever an instance when you ask yourself, why am I doing this again?
Yes, of course, because it really is hard, and it just demands everything.
I mean, we're supposed to feel sorry for her because she's running for president of the United States and she's made $100 million in speeches. Come on.
Bill Bennett's Morning in America, weekday mornings at 5, right before the Mark Davis Show at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. The recent controversy surrounding Kim Davis in Kentucky should not be understood as a milestone in the struggle for religious liberty, but it does illustrate a dangerous, destructive tendency among too many conservatives. The problem with her fight was that she had no chance to win. There is no way, legally or politically, to stop Rowan County from issuing licenses for same-sex weddings. The same mentality surrounded the doomed, foolish government shutdown nearly 2 years ago. With Obama as president, there was no chance of pressuring him to abandon Obamacare. A third example involves the recent push by some presidential candidates to end the long-established understanding of the 14th Amendment regarding birthright citizenship. If conservatives keep staging unpopular fights they can't conceivably win, the disillusioned grassroots will lose interest in fighting and in conservatism. I'm Michael Medved.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. Got a question. Are you always reaching for your reading glasses? Pick up a book, reach for the glasses. Look at a text, reach for the glasses. Open a menu. You get the idea. How about reaching for something else, like the phone? Climate Evangelist Eye Center is there at 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020 with the corneal inlay procedure. A great treatment for that dysfunctional lens syndrome you've heard me talk about. If you're constantly reaching for the readers, the corneal inlay procedure was designed with you in mind. So check it out. 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020. Schedule a free screening for the corneal inlay procedure. Find out if you're a candidate. Evening and weekend appointments are available, so call now. Talk to Climate Evangelista. The team members there for an appointment time that's convenient for you. 1-800-714-2020. Reach for the phone and maybe stop reaching for the readers. 1-800-714-2020, 1-800-714-2020, or myinlay.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had numerous credit cards, and I was struggling with paying them off.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360 to talk to a certified counselor.
I had heard about Trinity, so I made the call. They took care of all of my credit cards, and now I am completely debt-free.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
The people at Trinity are very friendly. They will do whatever you need them to do in order for you to feel better about being in a very difficult place.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
My name is Ann, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-758-5360.
They say every healthy relationship should have a balance of predictability and spontaneity. In fact, it is that assurance of security that makes the spontaneous possible. Your relationship with your car should be a little like that too. With our industry-leading unlimited mileage warranty, your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz instills a sense of confidence. You drive away knowing that you can keep driving for up to 3 years and never have to worry about the miles. Add to that our complimentary prepaid maintenance on select models, and your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz becomes the ultimate carefree escape vehicle. Only during the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event going on now through September 30th can you receive your first 2 months payments on us on select models plus 3 months of Sirius XM satellite radio. So hurry in today. It might just be the most predictable spur-of-the-moment decision you've ever made.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through September 30th, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. For more
more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
660 AM The Answer. 660 AMTheAnswer.com. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. I'm tired of China. No, I'm really tired of China and people in Washington, D.C., because they're stupid, have not figured out a way to stop China from doing what it has been doing for God knows how long, which is basically hacking our computers and stealing our technology. Yeah, the way this works, in case you have not heard, a private industry IT security firm tells Fox News that personal data stolen over the span of several high-profile U.S. cyber breaches is being indexed by China's intelligence service into a massive Facebook-like network of United States government employees. According to CrowdStrike founder Dmitry Alperovich, Chinese hackers are using information gained from the breaches of the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, as well as intrusions into the Anthems and Care First, Blue Cross, Blue Shield health insurance networks to build a complete profile of families of federal employees in what the company calls a Facebook of everything. That can now be used to embarrass you publicly, force you to work for the Chinese government. Yeah. This is not the first time this has happened. Not at all, in fact. It happens over and over and over. Yes, they are bad actors in cyberspace. The problem of cyber attacks, neither supported by the Chinese government or encouraged by them, is new. In a previous life, your cable guy broke a story that revealed senior military officials believe the Chinese government is supporting hackers that attack anything and everything in the U.S. national security infrastructure. The department has said that the Chinese government, in addition to employing thousands of its own hackers, manages massive teams of experts from academia and industry in a cyber militia that acts as Chinese national interests with unclear amounts of support and direction from China's People's Liberation Army. According to SANS Institute Director Alan Poller, the problem is 1,000 times worse than what we see. That's great. So let's take a look at the last, few years and just see what kind of miscreancy the Chinese hack attack has wrought on this nation. Well, let's see. Number one, there's Titan Rain. In 2004, an analyst named Sean Carpenter at Sandia National Laboratory traced the origins of a massive cyber espionage ring back to a team of government-sponsored researchers in Guangdong province of China. The hackers, codenamed by the FBI Titan Rain, stole massive amounts of information from military labs, NASA, the World Bank, and others. Rather than being rewarded, Carpenter was fired and investigated after revealing his findings to the FBI. Because hacking foreign computers is illegal under U.S. law, he later sued and was awarded more than $3 million. The FBI named Titan Rain and classified the new name. Renamed Titan Rain, classified the new name. The group still is assumed to be operating. The State Department's East Asia Bureau hack attack. In July of 2006, the State Department admitted it had become the victim of a cyber attack after an official in East Asia accidentally opened up an email he shouldn't have. The attackers worked their way around the system, breaking into computers at U.S. embassies all over the region, then eventually penetrating systems in Washington as well. Number three, offices of Representative Frank Wolf, one of the most outspoken lawmakers on Chinese human rights issues, so it was of little surprise when he announced in August of 2006 that his office computers had been compromised and that he suspected the Chinese government. Wolf also reported that similar attacks had compromised the systems of several other congressmen and the office of the House Foreign Relations Committee. Commerce Department. The Commerce Department's Bureau of Industry and Security had to throw away all of its computers in October of 2006, paralyzing the Bureau for more than a month because of targeted attacks originating from China. BIS is where export license for technology items to countries like China are issued. The Naval War College. In December of 2006, the Naval War College in Rhode Island had to take all of its computer systems offline for weeks following a major attack. One professor at the military school told his students the Chinese had brought down the system. Naval War College is where much military strategy against China was developed. These, by the way, are the top 10 Chinese hack attacks. Commerce Secretary Carlos Gutierrez and the 2003 blackout. A National Journal article revealed spying software meant to clandestinely steal personal data was found on the devices of then Commerce Secretary Carlos Gutierrez and several other officials following a trade mission to China in December of 2007. The same article reported that intelligence officials traced the cause of the massive 2003 Northeast blackout back to the PLA, but some analysts question the connections. Both McCain and President Obama's presidential campaigns. Yeah, both campaigns of then Senators Barack Obama and John McCain were completely invaded by cyber spies in August 2008. The Secret Service forced all campaign senior staff to replace their BlackBerries and their laptops. The hackers were looking for policy data as a way to predict the positions of the future winner. Senior campaign staffers have acknowledged that the Chinese government contracted one campaign and referred to information that could have only been gained from the theft. Here's another hack attack. This one, the officer of Senator Bill Nelson, the Democrat from Florida. At a March 2009 meeting, Nelson revealed his office computers had been hacked 3 separate times, and his aide confirmed the attacks had been traced back to China. The target of the attacks were Nelson's foreign policy aide, his legislative director, and a former NASA advisor. GhostNet. In March of 2009, researchers in Toronto concluded a 10-month investigation that revealed a massive cyber espionage ring they called GhostNet that had penetrated more than 1,200 systems in 103 countries. The victims were foreign embassies, NGOs, news media institutions, foreign affairs ministries, internal or international organizations. Almost all the Tibet-related organizations had been compromised, including the offices of the Dalai Lama. Including the offices of the Dalai Lama? Really? Here's one that's a little closer to home. Number 10. Lockheed's F-35 program. In April 2009, the Wall Street Journal reported that China was suspected of being behind a major theft of data from Lockheed Martin's F-35 program, the most advanced airplane ever designed. Multiple infiltrations of the F-35 program apparently went on for years. What do you do? What do you do about China? How can we stop them from breaking in? How can we do it? How can we do it? Well, one thing you can do is you can make sure that your computer security is actually worthy of its name. That's thing number 1. The other thing, however, is relatively simple. And you, listening to me right this moment, are going to thank me when you realize, hey, this guy might be onto something. How much debt from the United States does China really own? The U.S. debt was more than $14.3 trillion during the so-called debt crisis of 2011, when the level of borrowing reached the statutory limit, and the president warned of a potential default if the cap wasn't raised. So who owns all that U.S. debt? Well, 32 cents of every dollar of U.S. debt, $4.6 trillion, is owned by the federal government and trust funds, Social Security, other programs such as retirement accounts, according to the Department of the Treasury. Okay? This is how much China actually owns of our debt. The largest portion of U.S. debt, 68 cents for every dollar, or about $10 trillion, is owned by individual investors, corporations, state and local governments, and yes, even foreign governments such as China that hold treasury bills, notes, and bonds. Great, huh? Foreign governments hold about 46% of all U.S. debt held by the public, more than $4.5 trillion. The largest foreign holder of U.S. debt is China, which owns about $1.2 trillion in bills, notes, and bonds. So, why do I read you this information? Well, we just talked about 10 very important data breaches pulled off by China. How about this? How about the next time that happens, we knock, I don't know. How about if we knock $1.250 trillion off the debt we owe China? In other words, hey, you guys are grabbing our science, grabbing our personal information, grabbing our identities, grabbing our Social Security histories. You're doing all that, okay? The price, $1.25 trillion. W-88 warhead, $1.25 trillion. So whenever you steal something from the United States, it's going to cost you $1.25 trillion. How long do you think China would be in the United States of America hacking business if every time they turned around, someone in that country's computer IT industry would have just re-endowed the United States with $1.5 trillion? You see, they wouldn't. They'd stop it forthwith. It's costing them too much. We have to stop this. And this is how you do it. But why can't they figure it out? Why can't the State Department says, okay, look, here's what we've done. We've taken an aggregate of the last 5 cyber attacks that you guys are responsible for, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to charge you $5.5 trillion in fines. What about that? They'd stop stealing from us in a big damn hurry. Now, I don't know why these vaunted men and women of letters can't figure that stuff out. I don't know why, but, it's because, as Donald Trump keeps saying, these people are incompetent. Now, do I actually believe that? No, in point of fact, I don't actually believe that. I do not believe, in fact, that they are that they are that stupid. But I do believe that for whatever reason, they're just not willing to play hardball with a country that wants to steal its way into taking us down. And that's weakness. And I'm tired of it. This is the Wells Report.
The Mike Gallagher Show.
We'll be at Hillsdale College in Michigan for the second Republican debate on CNN. I'll be hosting a focus group made up of Hillsdale College students.
Checkity, check. It's the second Republican national debate. It's the second Republican presidential debate, and you don't want to miss it. We are all going to be at the Studio Movie Grill at Spring Valley in 75. That's 13933 North Central Expressway, Dallas, Texas, 75243. We're going to bring you right here during the Wells Report the second Republican presidential debate. We'll have all kinds of commentary on it. We'll have your neighbors talking about it. We'll have you talking about it as soon as the debate is done. Next time on the Wells Report. Mark Davis. Mark Davis, do you know what I'm doing right this very minute? I'm getting ready to meet you at the Studio Movie Grill, Spring Valley in 75, for that debate watching party that listen to me. Mark Davis, thanks very much for this opportunity to tell people what I'm doing right this very second. I'm getting ready to join you at the Studio Movie Grill in Spring Valley in 75. We're going to go there for a debate watching party. Jesus. Mark Davis, thank you very much for this opportunity to come by and tell people what I'm doing right this very second. I'm getting ready for this afternoon's Studio Movie Grill debate watching party. That's right. The Republican presidential debate is going to go on. Okay, I can do this. No, I can do this. Mark Davis, thank you very much for this opportunity to come by, tell people what's coming up on the Wells Report. Well, actually, it's not really going to be the Wells Report. It's going to be the second Republican presidential debate. And you and I are going to be at the Studio Movie Grill at Spring Valley in 75, watching the debate, talking with the neighbors, finding out what they think about who's doing really, really well in the debate and who's going down in flames. We'll report everything after the debate is done right here on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer. Don't miss it.
7095. You will love your new windows from statewide-remodeling.com.
Tell me something. How's your back? Do you have neck pain? Hi, I'm Dr. Chad Glines, DC with Genesis Back and Neck, and I want you to know something. There's help out there for you.
My name is Steve. I had 10 herniated discs in my back, and that's pretty bad. I basically couldn't walk without help. Dr. Chad and spinal decompression saved me. I can't stress that enough. To be mobile again, to have freedom of movement is pretty much a miracle for me. And I'm so grateful to Genesis Back and Neck.
That just blesses me to hear that. Imagine no addictive drugs, no invasive surgery. Spinal decompression is safe. It's FDA cleared. It's not painful, and it has a huge success rate. At Genesis, we accept most major insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. Please stop hurting and call me. 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922 or online at genesisback.com.
Dallas Baptist University Women's Night Out featuring Shonda Pierce, Thursday, October 15th, 2015, with Lindsay McCall and Karen Williams.
You ever tried to put on a pair of Spanx in an airplane bathroom? My body twisted in ways I didn't know it could.
Focus on the funny. Get your women's group together for a fun night out. Women's Night Out at Northwood Church in Keller, Texas.
So, there I was. I didn't want to give in to the peer pressure, but they already had their bags of mascara out and their lipstick, and I'm like, what I got? Blistex.
Tickets on sale at iTickets.com. Call 1-800-965-9324. For group tickets, go to getgrouptickets.com or call 844-381-4751. Buy 10 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket. Buy 30 or more reserved seats at one time and save $5 per ticket and get 2 free tickets. From Salem Media Group, Inc. and Awakening Events.
Buena Brasa Brazilian Steakhouse, an award-winning restaurant in Grapevine, invites you to experience the true flavors of Brazil. And to celebrate their 15-year anniversary, Buena Brasa is now offering a very special price. For only $37.50, enjoy an exceptional dining experience with 16 sizzling, tender cuts of meat and an exquisite gourmet salad bar with over 40 items to choose from. Buena Brasa, Highway 121 at Hall Johnson in Grapevine. Call 817-251-9881. That's 817-251-9881.
660 AM, The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
Just when you thought it was safe to go into the ballot box. I don't know exactly where this came from. Well, actually, I do. The Texas Nationalist Movement wants a repeat of what Texas did in 1861. That was secede from the Union. Yep. The March GOP primary is the place to start for the Texas Nationalist Movement. The Netherlands-based Texas Independence Group is circulating a petition aimed at getting a non-binding vote onto the GOP primary ballot over whether the state of Texas should reassert its status as an independent nation. Their goal, 75,000 signatures from registered voters by December 1st. That's more than the 66,894 the Texas Secretary of State's office says the groups need to get the language on the ballot. Do you support something like this? Do you? Do you support seceding from the Union? Or better yet, would you support a resolution calling for secession from the Union? Tell you what, I'll get back to you. Or maybe not. I just thought you'd like to know that might be there the next time you go into a ballot box. The executive producer of the Wells Report is Vicki Stifer. Technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra is Magic Matt Swinney. My name's Jon-David Wells. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow from the debate watching party at the Studio Movie Grill.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Okay, you're on.
We're here.